Bam! Oh, that's a bit too quiet, though. Let's try that. Yeah, there we go. It's a decent volume. Bump this up the rest of the ranks while we wait for people to trickle in. And by bump it up the rest of the ranks, I mean let's do this Forma alert. Yeah, boy. Yeah, great. I might have been a little bit trigger happy with that stream start. I got excited and just like slammed the start stream button, and I was like, it still says Fate Grand Order. So yeah, but we're here now. I'm ashamed to say that was actually completely on purpose. I just got excited. No, Mani, this is Rainymood. It is actually bright and sunny here. It's a very nice day, which is why I've decided to add my own rain, because I like the rain better than the sun. So, welcome everyone, and behold the new doubled FPS value for our live streams. This is on YouTube and Twitch. We have 60 FPS now at 720p. It's come to my attention that my statistics tell me that most of you are watching my streams on devices for which 1080p is kind of irrelevant. So I decided to swap to 720p 60. The two industry standards at the moment are 720p 60 and 1080p 30. And I think that 720p 60 is better for us, and it should also theoretically be less system load for most of you. So let me know how you feel about it. But keep in mind that, you know, one stream is not always the best way to gauge it, because it could just be you're having laggy internet that day, you know. But still, let me know what you think, especially if you are not watching on a desktop computer. If you're watching on like a Chromebook or a tablet or just a laptop or your phone, especially then let me know how the quality is, how the loading times are, what different settings you can choose, what different quality settings you can pick, all that good stuff. Let me know how it is, and hopefully we'll just get to hang out and have a good time. We tested it on Twitch yesterday, and it went fine. Like, there was nothing really wrong, so I'm suspecting that it will be no fuss. But if it is, let me know. Rainy rain is best rain. It's true. I'm glad you're liking the rain. That's awesome. Mani, I much prefer the rain personally. Rainy rain on rainy day though. Yeah, see, that's a bit of a downer though. Like, that's excessive. You should just open the window. And I would. We should do a comparison stream where we have one stream where I use Rainymood and one stream where I just open the window when it's actually raining, and we compare like the quality of the rain. Is digital, you know, not digital rain, but like rain recorded better than like an actual rainy day? I suspect it would be, but because of the weird audio of getting rain sounds like diegetically. Or, well, diegetically is not quite right, because diegetically would be like rain sounds in Warframe. We could compare that too. Anyway, great. Anyway, welcome everyone. What's up? Looks good on my phone. Awesome. Cyan, just keep me posted if it gets like wonky or anything. You know, let me know. But it should be fine. It's just with streams, like, there are so many factors that can affect your quality that it's always good to check. So many factors. Oh my god. Like, it's a can of worms figuring out, like, what is actually affecting your quality. So. Where are the rest of the enemies? Like, where is forward in this tile? Oh, I guess, to the left here. I usually watch on my tablet. I'll let you know if I see any improvement. The quality loss is noticeable. Really? At the moment? Gray? That's interesting. Gray, you think it looks notably worse at the moment? Damn. Alright. Definitely keep me posted. I'll have to watch it on a couple devices myself. I should pull it up on my phone. I'll pull it up on my phone. After this, exterminate. This was just an alert for a Forma that I wanted to pop out to put the last levels on my Dragon Nikana Prime, which is, of course, the Nikana Za. Croc Monster, welcome. Okay. Milk Cafe, welcome. Cyan Red, are you, sorry, Cyan 3, are you watching on YouTube Gaming or on normal YouTube? Will it not show me myself being live? I'm like on YouTube Gaming and it like doesn't list my own account. Go to my channel, question mark? There we go, there we go. Alright, awesome. Let's see. And it should have quality settings. Quality is 480 by default. Put it at 720p 60. There we go. Are you the reason for the loud rain sounds? Yes, absolutely. On a scale of 2 to 12, 11, with 3 being the highest and 7 being the lowest, do you like fish? What? 37. It's not too bad, but it's a difference. I've always preferred quality over frame rate. Well, Gray, it's just that a lot of people's devices don't even get more than 720p, and so the quality should just be strictly better. But I agree with you. Like, I usually prefer resolution to frame rate for watching streams, but it looks the same to me on my phone, like as ever, just this higher frame rate. But are you sure it's not locking you at 480p? Anyway, everyone fiddle around, and we'll see what we can do. I don't know what mod I want here. So we have enough, I guess, duration, but I don't want the duration to be too high because then I can't swap my weapons back to the element I want as fast. But then I don't want it too low. Cortel Maze, welcome. I'm sorry, I was distracted by opening it on my phone. I think the quality looks great. I don't notice a loss in quality at all. That's interesting. When someone streaming sees you talking, I know, right? Good feels. But I feel like duration, because it will give me the, well, yeah, I have the overcapped efficiency a little bit. That actually might be max efficiency, actually. Yeah, I think it is. Because we have the 190 for channeling abilities. And then that offsets the duration. Yeah, so I don't think adding continuity makes that much sense. Because I don't want it for the fireball, I don't want it for the 3, the 3's not even that good. And then flash accelerant, I want low duration because it lets me swap my elements back. Nikiske, the storm is added by me. It is from Rainymood. Nie, or Nai, welcome. No Luck Noakes, you're back. Fiddling around ensues, I know, right? So yeah, I don't know what I want here. So duration is kind of irrelevant, we decided. Efficiency is kind of irrelevant. Range would be nice. We could run like a stretch in this slot or something. Range would definitely be nice. Yeah, it's gotta be range, right? Could we dump strength? Maybe strength is a dump stat on this build. I think strength is a dump stat on this build. So we might wanna form this to a D and do overextended, or I mean we don't have to, but This Ember Prime has 6 Forma because I couldn't decide what I wanted to do. I had to fiddle around a lot to get something good. Let's try this. I think corrosive projection is kind of like appropriate here, but I don't know. I think this is just about where I want to be. We'll see. Let's dive into something where things can kill us and see what happens. Yeah, Cortel Maze, I can turn down the rain a bit. It does get loud when there's like a thunder boom. It does get kind of loud. I wanted to experience a little bit. No, Hitesh, I added in the rain myself. I'm so happy that so many people are like, it must be raining like hell there. Like, that's insane. What a badass, streaming in the middle of a storm. Yeah, boy, you know it. Yeah, I could do like an interception real quick. I just want to finish leveling this this yaw. And I have a disgusting amount of Neo relics, so I might as well get through some. I have to look at the all these people asking if the rain is. I know, right? We have to play. So here's the deal. We are gonna stream Warframe as normal for a normal amount of time, but toward the end, I am gonna swap to a bunch of other games briefly just to test quality. I'll probably briefly cut this stream so that this stream archive is like good instead of being a bunch of random games in the end. But yeah, so if a few people are cool with sticking around toward the end, I would love to quickly test that stuff. It'll probably be fine, but just might as well, you know. Maybe I'll do it a different day, I don't know. Maybe I'll have tomorrow be like the testing stuff day. Hey, you cannot hide. That enemy was like, I'm gonna mess this guy up. Can't see me behind this corner in an open field. Ninja. I'll show you a space ninja, Tenno. Like hell you will, UV boy. Madruga, welcome. Madruga, you have a motorcycle Warframe for us? Yeah, no luck, Noakes. I'm thinking that a lot of people feel the same way, and will be very thankful to have an Ember that is actually very, very competitive, very powerful. No, maybe not as good as she could be, but definitely has some unique things of her own, instead of having her lunch eaten by lots of other frames. Specifically swapping the elements on weapons. I'm very excited about this. I've been talking with Storm about it ever since I realized you can do corrosive and then swap a weapon to gas. I love it. It's so good. Yeah, boys, as Brad and Vandal Blueprint. That's awesome. I don't think I have all the parts yet. I want to use the Lotto Vandal. I want the shiny marshmallow gun. Yeah, drivable Karma, I agree. I always have a ton of Neo relics. I don't know what it is. Alberto, yes, I am standing up. It is customary for me to jump to demonstrate that I'm standing up on streams, as we have talked about at great length on my Discord. Where can I get some Nitane extract? Space, the main source of Nitane extract are alerts. 4 times a day, every day, at random times, but 4 times a day, there will be alerts for Nitane extract. And that is the only real, reliable way to get them. There's a very low chance to get them some other ways, but that's definitely not worth your time. I highly discourage farming them those ways. I don't want to, not tell you they exist, but, someone will cut in and be like, no, you can farm them this obscure way that never gives you them. You can, but don't do that. The drop rate is absurdly low. I highly recommend that there's a Warframe Twitter account that tells you the alerts, so you can just check that every so often, and when it says there's a Nitane alert, there'll be 4 a day and they last an hour each. Go do it, and that is the main way to get Nitane. It is nicknamed Alertium by the community because it is pretty much only found from alerts. It is a limiting factor in this game for building an endgame, because you can't really farm it, you just have to get it from alerts. That is where you get it. Good question. One of the more oblique things about this game. Let's see it faster speeds. Oh no, I mean, I don't know, Gray. I can kind of see a quality difference. I'm watching on my phone as well, to check out quality differences. Well, I mean, Cortel Maze, I use Hydron for leveling plenty of the time, but, like, I have, like, way more Neo Relics than that would indicate. Like, I have, like almost 1,000. Like, a really insane amount. Like, totally insane amount. Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm saying, like, the drop chance for Nighttime not from alerts is, like, you would spend, like, a year farming it. You will not get it from like the other sources before you get it from just waiting for alerts. So I recommend that you just wait for alerts. Let's check out the range on World on Fire with overextended. Can I hit that enemy? I want to scan the map. Okay, you can hit those enemies over there. Nice. Pretty respectable, looks like. How about this? It's pretty usable. Not a great ability in general, but decent. Any good places to get a lot of nanospores? Yeah, Space 300 temporarily use a COD on Eris. Is that what it's called? Temporarily use a COD on Eris as your leveling node, and you'll get a lot of nanospores. Is that right? I'll double check that when I get out of this mission. But it's a pretty competitive leveling spot, and it drops a ton of nanospores. Yeah, exactly, Zez. The best thing is to like just do the nighttime alerts as they come up. Hi.
Hi.
Is that laundry?
Yeah.
Is that the laundry that Callie peed on? Our cat peed in Anna's suitcase and peed on all our clothes.
You mean my clothes?
Yeah. I said her clothes, your clothes.
Okay, but you said our clothes.
Didn't happen to my clothes, no. Want some veggie chips? Yo, Anna, can you notice a quality change on my phone? Watch it on my phone and watch me jumping around. Don't you think the quality is like normal or better than it usually is?
Yeah, I guess so. Not really watch your streams.
That's not even true. You lurk my streams all the time. Gray says, hi, Anna. Anna immediately leaves. Great, that's cold. It hurts. And cuts deep. Everyone is saying hi to Anna, and Anna immediately leaves. Wrecked. Cold-shouldered. That hurts, folks. Damn. Never have I seen such savagery from my loved one. What the hell are we building on this? Like, I guess Condition Overload and Organ Shatter, but I feel like Condition Overload is kind of low value. It's fairly low value, yeah. That's on a savage, I know, right? It hurts. It hurts. Oh, Gray is sad. Salmon, I missed before you said I just finished getting my Bobbin set, now I need like 10 more Nighttane. I know it hurts. It's painful. I still think that's what I want though, like maybe not Condition Overload, but like probably. I'd sort of, I would almost be down for Buzzkill. I kind of like that. Or like, that's not that good. I was thinking that you could like drop some of the status chance and then use Weeping Wounds instead. Because Condition Overload truly is not very high value here. Like you're realistically mostly gonna have Viral and Slash. So like unless you're using a frame that adds like doesn't Condition Overload priming, then you're not like 2 statuses is not that insane for Condition Overload. It's always nice to build weapons a way that is not good for Condition Overload if you can, because then the whole audience is like, yes, we can finally use a weapon that is good without it being Condition Overload. But yeah, so for those that are uninitiated to the Zaws we're working on, This Za, which is called Dragon Nikana Prime, is the exact same stats as the Nikana Prime, except it has lower damage overall, lower base damage overall, and it has an arcane slot. It has the exact same crit chance, and status chance, and crit multiplier, and attack speed, the exact same attack speed. It's got the same, basically the same damage spread, mostly slash. Pretty similar default polarities now that I think about it. It's just got less base damage and an arcane slot. It is a weaker Nikana Prime that has an arcane slot. I believe that's better. I believe that makes it better. And this is really like a proof of concept. So, yeah. But this is made of Jaitu, Laka, and Setfon. If you want to make this exact thing, that is how you make it. And again, I don't necessarily, just to be clear, I don't necessarily recommend that you build a Nikana this way. I did this as a proof of concept. If you were going to build a Nikana to be like the best Nikana you could make, I would still recommend going for the Equana Jaitu 14% crit, 25% status split. Setfon adds 2% crit and status, so you'll have 16%, 27%, which is great. I recommend that. So replace the links with Equana Jaitu, and I would change the grip to pay. I would always use the faster grip if you wanted to min-max one. But the point of this Za was to make something as similar as possible to the Nikana Prime, and then like show that Zas are partially good because Exodias, which should be obvious, but you know. Anna's her own lady, that's why I like her. It's true. She has a tendency to cold shoulder a lot when we're streaming, that's true. But yeah, WoW Root, it's quite good. I mean, Nikana Prime is good, and this is basically the exact same thing, so it's good. And having a Za, having a Exodia, excuse me, on the Nikana Prime, like, is also very good. Maybe we'll take it into the Simulacrum. Let's take it into the Simulacrum, actually. Sorry, I'm like slightly backed up in comments. Magnus Nate, I see you. I see you there. Xandy, I'm new here. Are you standing? Also, can you jump about 5,000 times through me? No, get out of here. I will not. I won't do it. Space 300, good luck farming relics. Thanks for keeping the stream open. So for now, for the purposes of testing, we are going to buzzkill. So this does not increase the damage of the slash procs, but it does increase how often you get them. And with this amount of viral, you definitely want more slash. This is like not the, you would want even more slash than this. We want 1 viral proc to, you know, 5 or 6 slash procs, which means we want a little more slash than this, but this is actually pretty good. It's pretty close. So this should be quite competitive damage. I don't have, what's it called? Corrosive Projection on, so we're just going to fight these enemies. With Blind Justice as our stance. That's important. Spin into these guys. Switch up the combos a bit, see what's most effective. Normal spam. It's not going to be good at first, it's going to need some combo. There we go, now it's getting there. A little bit. It almost feels like it needs, throws enemies around too much. Maybe I'll try a different stance. I don't know. I don't know how to feel. It feels kind of bad. Let's do the same thing on actual Nikana Prime. That would be a good comparison, of course. That's the point. Let me just catch up on chat as well. Where's normal Nikana Prime? Oh, right. I made it look weird. Ah, yes. Well, this is on YouTube, and he's almost to 20k subs, so we can round up to 20k jumps. Ah, yes. Of course. If he jumps once a minute, that'll only take about 100 streams. Damn. Great, that's savage. Siberg, welcome. You play with thunderstorm sounds in the background? Only sometimes. It's a new thing. Macro Shaft, welcome. Oh. Oh. What polarity is this? I'm also noticing freaking dash. Okay. So let's use the same build. So we're gonna take condition overload off. Take this off. And do the exact same build. The prime pressure point and buzzkill on Nikana Prime instead of Dragon Nikana Prime. And see how it does. So the base damage is higher, so we should expect like the that will affect the slash procs. So we should expect that to be a bit better. These aren't good DPS stances. That's the problem. That's why it's not that good. See, like that enemy is dying just fine, but like, yeah. The problem is these aren't good enough DPS stances. Like it's not bad, but as you can see, they're both not that good set up this way. So let's try switching it up a little bit. I actually don't know the other Nikana stances very well. I remember really not liking Decisive Judgment and Tranquil Cleave. I thought was okay, but I don't know the combos for them very well, so we're gonna have to try some stuff. So let's see what we got. A bit slow at first. That one looks decent. One looks like it has some multi-hits. The cleave of the hits is good, but the DPS is still not really there. Let's try, there was a... Oh, that one looks good. Alright, there we go, alright. Ooh, that's juicy, it even has a finisher. There we go, that's nice. I mean, the finisher, obviously, that's gonna be nice, but like... Okay. Like, yeah, I feel like this is better, actually. It doesn't have the movement, and it's not as good as, some other weapons that will remain nameless, but still. Is the Fomorian event happening on PC right now, too? Cyberg, no, it's not. I don't think so, anyway. The pause combo finisher is the money shot, I think. I like that. Magnus, that you say, by the way, why did you stream for 5 seconds, 3 minutes before this stream? I got excited to stream with you all. So I was a little trigger happy, and I hit the start stream button, and I was totally not ready. I was still named Fate Grand Order. The genre was Fate Grand Order. There was no description. The title was wrong. I like didn't even do that whole thing. I just got excited. I wanted to stream, so I slammed the button, and then I was like, well, I didn't name it the right thing. Anyway, Jerry and 2X, welcome. Let me you know, tell the world. Actually, I'll tell the world, but I have to go to the bathroom, so I'll be right back.
What the hell was that?
Oh, that was janky. Okay, hello. We're back. We are back. Wyatt, don't you test me. I'll do a bathroom stream if you, y'all don't know what I'll do for the views. Not much, apparently. Okay, live with new resolution and new Zaws. Post. Come. Do the things. And watch the things. Bam. Mailbox. Wonderful. Xandy describing his bathroom chip as janky. Okay, you're right, that's kind of gross. I wish that I could host myself on my Twitch, like when I'm streaming on YouTube. But it is against their terms of service. Anyway, so one of the defining things, of course, is that we have exodia contagion. So we're gonna try using like more exodia contagion. Or we'll just completely miss. I'm hoping for slash procs. I'm not getting any. This is so bad. Oh my goodness. Okay, so exodia contagion is pretty terrible on this. Damn. Maybe Nakanas just suck? Question mark. Anyway. But let's try one of the draws. One of the things people were most excited for about having this as a Zaw is Jordan Angles, I love the spicy. It's true. Is having Exodia Hunt with Blind Justice. Now, Exodia Hunt is, a lot of people don't know this, I always forget. 50% chance to pull in enemies when you do a slam. So we will be spamming the block combo and doing that slam and hoping it pulls enemies toward us, since it normally knocks enemies away from us. And Exodia Hunt is quite powerful. It's quite powerful crowd control. So hopefully it will deliver. Yep, there we go. And then it opens enemies to finishers with this really weird perspective lock thing. We need attack speed from crits. Thank you. So far, this really sucks. Okay. Okay. When it works, it's nice crowd control, sure. Bunches up enemies for the slams. So you can see, like, when it's proccing, like, sure, that's good, but, like, when it's not, it's really bad. So, I don't know. It does look cool, though. That is a benefit. And when the enemies are, like, not being knocked all over the place, it's quite strong, I feel. Yeah, so it's not that bad. I don't know. It's aight. Not really worth it, though, in my opinion. I don't know. Nikanas have disappointed me a little bit. I just think the stances are really bad for DPS. I think the time has gone when you need, like, we have so much bullet jump power. I feel like the mobility is not as valuable, and then if this weapon doesn't have like DPS, then I don't know. The animations are also like a bit slow. So this is still interesting. It's very, very good for like as a proof of concept in a video that like the Exodias are just not that good on Nikanazaz, it seems. So now, we will move on to the savior of melee, the 9 iron. Ooh, that's right. Anyway, Spirit and Steel, welcome, by the way. I missed you earlier. I was just visiting Northeast myself. Got a few lovely days in upstate New York. Yeah, where I went to college. Well, I'm sure that was kind of obvious. People that know me are probably like, yeah, we know. Let's do condition overload on this. And then the last slot, once it gets ranked up, is going to be Organ Shatter. But it's not going to make a gigantic difference on this, so I actually think we're pretty much ready to Exodia hunt it up. Gabe, you said, would you mind explaining why 120% physical damage mods are sometimes useful, like with Atlas's 1, and sometimes not? I'd be delighted to explain that. So, let's go back to the Dragon Nikana Prime for a little bit. The name is still A+, and it looks cool. It looks cool. I don't know. In this situation, I chose Buzzkill, stating that I wanted more slash procs for the statuses. And I stick by that. I still think that's a good choice here. What's going on is this mod adds to the DPS of the weapon the same way as if it was an elemental mod. So damage-wise, adding Buzzkill here is very similar, if the weapon was all slash damage, is very similar to adding, like, well, for this weapon, Northwind. Like, these are about the same. They're both bad, in other words, for DPS. We already have 120%, like, non-base additive damage. I would say elemental damage, but since these physical damage mods fall in the same category, they are like that too. They're not multiplying each other. Like, this doesn't make Virulent Scourge and Vicious Frost better, and vice versa, which is part of why it's bad. 120% slash sounds like a lot if the weapon is mostly slash, but ultimately that's not actually that much of your DPS. That is why they are not good at, like, a baseline level. But they can be good for two reasons. One, if the weapon wants more of a some damage type, pretty much always slash. The puncture and impact ones are never, period, good for that reason. But slash ones are notoriously good on weapons like Tigress Prime, which is the perfect example of this use. Let's go to this build. This is like a staple Tigress Prime build. Basically, we got Viral, and then we got Radiation. We want one Viral proc so that all our slash procs can only go through half the enemy's health and they'll still die. I'm stuttering because I'm trying to explain this really fast so it doesn't get too complicated. Then we got Multi-Shot and Sweeping Serration. Sweeping Serration doesn't make our slash procs do more damage, but it makes more of our pellets be slash procs, which is good. On this type of weapon, that's a huge damage increase. But keep in mind that increasing the actual nominal slash damage is not really relevant, and it doesn't actually increase how much damage the procs do, it just makes you get more of them. So on shotguns it's pretty good. On weapon melees that have very fast attack speed, it can be good, not always. It's rare that a weapon that is not an 100% status shotgun wants to be slanting its damage more towards slash, but it's not never, so that. The second time it can be good is with exalted type things like Atlas's punches, mostly because those are 100% impact. It's all impact. So 120% is like a super elemental, like kind of like a primed elemental. That's why primed heavy trauma, that's what it's called, right? Which is like primed collision force, is actually good on Atlas's punches because it's like such a huge amount of damage increase to all of Atlas's damage, not like this weird IPS spread that most weapons have. Then it can be good, especially because Atlas's punches don't have a very good excuse for having an element. They have like terrible status. Sure, but I would probably go so far as to say that is the only time that they're good for that purpose. There's very few situations where they're good, but when they're good, they're pretty good. The situations where they're powerful, usually they're very powerful. Like Tigress Prime, it increases your damage by a lot. I know it might seem like slanting your procs more towards slash. That's no big deal. It's a very big deal. It makes you do way more damage. That build is leagues ahead of most other builds, except for like maybe the quad shot build if you glitch it out. But that might not be, the terms of service might not like that. So I'm not going to talk about that. So yes, that's the deal with those mods. Long story short, they are not good because they are basically like adding another element. You wouldn't want to add like 4 elements to your build, and they add the same way, so they're generally not good because of that. but they can be good for manipulating how much of a kind of damage you have, usually on 100% status shotguns, but not always. And they are very, very rarely good with things like Atlas's punches that are all 1 IPS type. There you go. Spirit and Steel, I went to Skidmore College. I'm just gonna like pop into like 5 runs of a Hydron to finish leveling up the 9-iron. I personally think that rapiers are generally superior to Nikanas. I agree. So what's a good melee other than the Galatine? Loads. The Galatine is a little overrated just in the sense that it's like, it's not that much better than some of the other good melees. It's very good. It's not wrong to think it's good, but it's not like it's the only... People act like it's the only melee in its class, and that's completely untrue. All blade and whip weapons are on par. Rapiers are better single target damage. Daggers, a well-built Zaw dagger, can be on par single target damage. A dagger Zaw. Let's see. Machetes with Cyclone Kraken that are Zaws can be on par single target damage. Dual swords with Carving Mantis can be better medium numbers of target damage. With many targets, they'll fall behind, but with only a medium number of targets, they can be at parity, or even better. That stuff. Gukas, welcome. Nasco, you said, is spring-loaded blade worth using? No, absolutely not. Spring-loaded blade is probably bugged and is intended to be like additive, like Berserker. With itself, it's probably meant to stack a little bit, but it currently doesn't. And I think because no one has it, they just haven't fixed it. I'm hoping to make a video to try to get them to fix it because I think they just don't know it doesn't work because no one is using it, because nobody has it, because it's way too rare. So we'll show that during this stream. That's not a bad thing to do. Raise awareness any way we can. You didn't tell me you were testing the 9-iron. Yeah, we're finishing one former run so we can fit everything on it, and it's gonna be sweet. Dr. Saucy said, hey, sorry, this isn't really fitting. No, it totally is. My stream is all about questions. Does anyone have a recommendation for an MR 6 or 7 weapon? The Heck, the Lex, the Strun. Legit, I don't think any of those things are actually that MR, but they're all very good. I think the Hystrix is around that MR. That's good. It's fun. Space, you said, how can I get a rapier? I recommend making a Zaw rapier. And Space, you can find a full guide to making Zaws on my YouTube. In fact, there's even a rapier in that video. So go to that link. Oh, right, we're not on Twitch, so I can't do that. Oh, but it worked on, my Twitch chat. There's now a link to my YouTube. We're on YouTube already. Go to my YouTube main page and search for Zaw, and you'll see 2 videos come up at the top. One of them is called the Zaw Cookbook. That's how to make Zaws. And one of them is called the Zaw Appendix. That is to see some examples of Zaws I recommend making. So watch the cookbook first, and then watch the appendix if you want some ideas. Watch the cookbook, and then use that to make a Zaw rapier with Equanagi 2 as the links, and it will be extremely good and do tons of damage, and it will be sick. Just make sure you have the stance. You desperately need the stance. All melee weapons need a stance, or they're terrible. Or not terrible, but pretty bad. But rapiers especially badly need it. Oh yeah, Bazza's MR7, that's good. Stopping by on first break to say hi, nice. Def Cupcake, I might be here in an hour and a half, yeah. That's not very long. I expect the 9-iron to be on par. Oh, baby. Teenager's Guide, I'll see you in a sec. We'll be here. Yeah, Jerry, it's a mod that exists, but it's bad. Yeah, I wish it didn't exist. No. It'll be interesting if they fix it, or maybe they didn't intend that. I don't know. But we'll talk about it briefly. It's got like a 1% drop chance from what it drops from, so, and the thing it drops from is like high-level bounty bosses and like some incursions, which is why no one has it. By the way, Xandy, I haven't had the stream skip forward yet like it normally does, so I guess the 720 is working. Nice. Okay, that's good news, Gray. So you're saying you do still notice a drop in quality, but the like actual stream of the stream is more consistent, it sounds like? That's a good sign. That sounds like what we're looking for. That's awesome. Correct. I think this might go in the category of gambling weapons, because like if you get the hunt proc, then it's mental, but like if you don't, then it's like not that good. The reach is good actually. Yeah, as like a ranged hammer, this is pretty strong. Like probably better than the Volnus. It like does what the Volnus does. I'll never call golf a lame sport again. Name the movie. I don't know. Is it, I almost said that one golf movie, so I guess I have no idea. How did that not kill that guy? Did you see that? I did the full pause combo, like, right next to that grunt, and he didn't die. Ooh, the range on the pull is immense like this. Well, yeah, Daft Cupcake, another thing is, like, we're gonna have to test for a few streams. Like, you could always just be getting bad internet someday, especially if you have, like, one of the big uns, like Comcast or whatever. If you have a mainstream internet service, you could just be getting crappy service that day, since they throttle all of your connections so badly, the criminals. So we're gonna have to test it for a little while, but if after, like, a week or two, it's not helping most people, then we will switch back. Super easy to switch back. I suspect it will be better overall, though. Xandy, I'm at 300 plus days and I don't have Berserker yet. Should I buy it? Yeah. The luck is not on your side. Just go ahead and buy it. You definitely want it. It's a defining part of the power of most melee weapons. Even compared to like Prime Fury, it's a huge upgrade from most of the weapons it's good on. Unless you have your Prime Fury max, then even then, it's still a pretty big upgrade. So I would say definitely yes. It's like a, wow. Yeah, because it's like a 25% DPS increase. Yeah, you should buy it. On weapons where it's the mod you want, it's a pretty huge DPS increase. Especially with, not only, but especially with Condition Overload. Because you're getting the statuses faster. And either way, you're getting the combo fast. It's crazy. The attack speed is very important. This is so good. This weapon is so good. Screw that Nikana. This weapon is sick. This is awesome. And this counts as a slam too, I think. Did we test that before? Let's try again. No, stop killing them. I can't test. Not yet. These 50% chance to proc, so it might just have not procced. It's this thing at the end. I don't know. Same for Condition Overload. Magnus Nate, that one, it's a little bit harder. Like, Conditional Overload is rare. And a lot of the weapons that... Like, a lot of more mainstreamy melee weapons are kind of, like, not that much better with Condition Overload. It's just that when Condition Overload makes a weapon a lot better, it makes it, like, absurdly a lot better. Like, one of the best examples would be the Mios. Like, the Mios gains, like 500% DPS from Condition Overload. The weapons where it's, like, really good, where Condition Overload is truly powerful, it's just, like, unsurpassingly insane power. But if you want to not have it, there are plenty of weapons you can build that are very good and competitive that just don't really gain that much from Condition Overload. Many /viral melee are not particularly, like, hungry for Condition Overload. A lot of weapons like that. A lot of weapons without forced procs in their stances are not, it's not, like, that good. So it's not it's not really that necessary if you don't want it to be, but if you like it and you want it to go insane, or like it kind of depends on playstyle. Like if you like condition overload priming, you like stacking statuses, then you know, obviously definitely get it. But yeah. Have some iced tea from David's Tea, whom some of you may remember as a glorious local business that makes really, really, really good tea. Oh, baby. All right, 9 iron, come to me. Oh, there it is. There she blows. Look at that. All right. I think we're ready to go. And we got to test whether or not the thing at the end counts as a slam. I really do think it does. I just forget. I cannot distinctly remember seeing it proc it, that's all. Yeah, no, Jerry, there are weapons where both Berserker and Prime Fury are good. I don't think that's crazy. Excalibur's stat stick wants that pretty badly. Alright, let's give it a try. And then we can test how insane the status priming is too. Oh, it does proc it. Oh, that's so gross. It's so powerful. Oh, ooh, that's brutal. The range is so ridiculously overpowered. Oh, that's savage. Oh, it's so good. The cleave on this thing is ridiculous. This hits like the entire world. That test was without prime reach. This is no prime reach. Oh my god. This thing hits like the entire map. What is the range on this Saw? This is so overpowered. It's so strong. Okay. Yeah, make this. It's really good. It's very, very good. Why is this so strong? I feel like this is doing better than its numbers. Like, if you look at like the stats on this is like performing better than its numbers. It's not even that. The base damage is good. There's that. And it is fast for a hammer. The hammer stances are balanced to be like, you know, slow. Why is this so powerful? Okay, whatever. What are those parts? Equanajai 2, Sakala, and Rabvi. Rabvi is just the only hammer strike. Sakala is the fastest handle, and Equanajai 2 is just like the best things. The best. They're all equal power theoretically, but because of the melee mods we have, I think that Equanajai 2 is functionally the best. It's actually Teenager's Guide. It's insane. Like borderline one of the better melee weapons in the game. I'm shocked that I'm saying that. Someone asked something I wanted to answer really quick. Radiant Onyx, you said, I'm curious, would you consider Carving Mantis a better stance than the other two dual sword stances? Yes, by a lot. Radiant Onyx, it has a weird combo where you have to put the mouse, you have to walk to the left specifically, not to the side or forward or back, but specifically left, and it triggers a combo that is like beyond powerful. So one of the strongest combos in the game across all melee weapons, like up there with like Broken Bull, and it's crazy powerful. We'll look at Carving Mantis in a sec. But yeah, this is what we're running. This is super normal, one build to rule them all. The build is not anything special. We're not really pulling any tricks. Normal hammer stance, normal build, very normal stat spread. It's just very strong. Like, there's nothing like particularly insane about any of this. It just like it happens to be like the perfect storm. It's like a very good poster child for hybrid weapons where like it's just like the right amount of each element. Like we have not that, like, not too much slash, but like a good amount of slash, like, you know, a good amount of impact, good amount of corrosive, like balances out the 2 IPS types, so you get 3 status effects really consistently. This stance has really good multi-hits. This range is really overpowered. This is like a good speed. These stances are balanced for lower speed, which is good. Remember, attack speed on melee is just a stance animation multiplier. It's not like quite the same as fire rate. Exodia Hunt to keep the enemies close to you and give them some crowd control. Let's even use it with like, this is going to be gross and overpowered, but I'm going to do it. No, not that. Is use World on Fire while we do it, and like prime like this, and then like just crash in. Oh, they just melt. Oh, that's gross. And then do like, just do normal combos, like, and they die in like 2 hits. This is pitiful. Like, and these enemies can't do anything. Oh, ooh, that was like with a normal hammer. Oh, that's gross. That's raunchy. So you're saying it's perfect for every situation, almost like a 9-iron. Yes, the golfing puns are here. Ooh, oh, that's so beastly. Yeah, this is like the weapon for Exodia Hunt. Like the definitive Exodia Hunt experience is this Za. This is so good. I want to turn World on Fire off because it's gonna make people think that's the only reason it's good. Ooh, like, see, that was kind of bad though. There we go. Now it's good again. Okay, that's just corrosive. Ah, yes. The joke is that it has corrosive damage. Okay. And then this combo for focus damage, nice. Like against one target. Yeah, that's better. And then this, just spam procking it. And like this for a bit of movement. The combos are perfect too. Oh, that's great. That's so good. Condition overload really isn't adding much here. No, yes it is. Because we have 3 statuses. Pretty reliably. Condition overload is adding a lot here. Because we have very consistently, we have corrosive impact and slash. I'm going to show the consistency of procs. When you have more than 2, it's insane. So like these enemies, see, like all these enemies have like 2 or 3 statuses, so it really is that good. Condition overload would be a very large loss on this weapon. Yeah, see, like these enemies are getting roasted as soon as they have 2 or 3 procs. Someone said, what's your favorite Za? Like, are you listening to like this stream right now? Like, it's definitely this. But I don't disagree that Primed Reach is good here. This would be a very good Za for a Riven because it actually wants more space. There are a lot of weapons, I've talked about this before, but like how a lot of weapons, Rivens don't actually add that much, not because their stats themselves aren't good, but because it gives you space you don't need. Like there's no good mod to put in the extra space. This would be an example of a weapon where that isn't true, and it is really helpful to have extra space. Like if you got a Riven that was really simple, like just like range and status chance, like, and one of these elements, or like just range and status chance, or range and combo alone, or critical damage, just like one of those things, you know, that would be a huge gain, because then you'd have space to also run Primed Reach, or you'd have the range innately and you could still run everything else, you know. That would be a very big gain on this weapon. A lot of weapons that's not that good, but this weapon actually wants the space because it's good with more mods than it has space for. In fact, if you get a crazy one, you could get like combo and critical damage and range, and then you could take off Organ Shatter and Drifting Contact and also run Healing Return, and then like that would just be gross. I don't know. And you'd need like 3 more Forma on it, but whatever, that's fine, it's worth it. Could you show that combo where you lock to the left? Yes. I'll swap to a dual sword right now and show that. Let's use the dual carries, which is a weapon I rather like. This Saw is so strong it made him phase through the map. I fell through the floor because it was so good. Not using Condition Overload on this one, which I kind of think you should, so let's not show that. Let's show what's a good host or child. Nami Skylar Prime, yes. Yes. Yeah, this is perfect. Okay. So I'm not using Organ Shatter here in Namiscala Prime as kind of a bad combo multiplier. So Carving Mantis is the stance you're looking for. And the combo we're doing is, it even shows it, is called Dire Courtship. Melee, melee, and then left, specifically walk to the left, and then it will start doing this combo. After you initiate the combo once, as long as you don't do a ground finisher, which would interrupt it, you can spam, and you'll keep doing it without continuing to move to the left, which I'll show. So let's grab these. Otherwise, basically a normal viral condition overload melee. I think it's a good candidate for healing return in that it is, here, you'll see me start to do it. Yep, so it looks like that. When you see that cross slash, you know you're doing it. And as you can see, it just like rips enemies apart, rips right through enemies. But if you do a ground finisher, which you often will, you'll knock enemies down. You need to refresh it. So I'm going to do one. Oh no, I actually didn't. Okay, good. But if you notice yourself do one, you're going to have to refresh it. As you can see, I'm moving to the right now, and I'm still doing it. But that combo is insane, insane, insane. Crazy, crazy powerful. Another good combo in this stance is the block combo, but it's not as good. It just has a nice little throw that has good multi-hits and slash. But this is like super powerful, like I think one of the better melees in the game. Executing these combos at speed is very, very powerful. So Namiscala Prime is a particularly good candidate for them. And as you can see, like even these enemies, like 3x combo is a little high, sure, but like 2.5x, we were still ripping through these enemies with one use of that combo. So it's very, very strong. Madruga, I have a different keyboard, so my keys are offset a little bit. Think of your setup, but just move it to the left one key, and like that's pretty much what my setup is. I use ESDF instead of WASD, so for me, using W is a convenient key. My keyboard is just different. But yeah, so that's awesome. Definitely do that. Carving Mantis is thebomb.com. You're looking for this Dire Courtship combo. Again, just go left one time, and then you can spam without going left, and you'll be fine. Greato. Good combo. Very good combo. I always forget there are people who actually work out. Gray, I know what you mean. That's the thing people do. Milk Calf, you said, hey Xandy, I'm currently using Galatine and getting tired of it. Is switching from Temple Royale to Cleaving Whirlwind for a change gonna affect my damage much? Yes. Hugely, in fact. Let me show a Galatine Prime build that I like. That is probably not yours, but just for an example. Okay, whatever. So here's a pure slash build that you could run Cleaving Whirlwind or Temple Royale, and it's designed for Cleaving Whirlwind, but it doesn't really matter. I've used this on Saren before because she has the viral procs automatically, which is nice, but whatever. So ignore the specifics of the build, you know, like whether it's slash or viral slash or you have some different build, like it doesn't really matter that much. The point is that it's a good baseline build to demonstrate this stuff with, and it has Prime Reach, which I actually like on Galatine Prime with Cleaving Whirlwind, because Cleaving Whirlwind is very immobile. Temple Royale is like the mobile heavy sword stance, great sword stance, and then Cleaving Whirlwind is like the focus damage one. So I'll show the combo you're going to be doing is attack, attack, pause, and then you spam. It's called Broken Bull, or Broken, you know, as some people will say. And then you spin, and it does disgusting damage. That was from a cold start, and those enemies are just gone, just absolutely gone. Like 1 or 2 spins, enemies are like off the face of the planet. Crazy, crazy. Like these enemies are dying in like 2 spins once slash procs. And because I have Weeping Whirlwind, it gets Weeping Wounds. Wow, Weeping Whirlwind, the new stance. It gets very consistent after like a 3x combo. You'll start seeing like the slash procs are like every hit, and then the enemies just evaporate. You can like spin right through the enemies and they just die. 1 or 2 slash procs and you're good to go. The enemies are dead. Very powerful, makes a gigantic difference over Temple Royale. Broken Bull has like a 300% combo multiplier, damage multiplier. So it is a huge increase in damage, like beyond gigantic increase in damage. But you saw just there that while it is a large increase in damage, it also completely restricts your movement. You're not going anywhere fast while you're using it. Whereas Tempo Royale is much more mobile. So if I do this same test with Tempo Royale, you know, this build isn't designed for Tempo Royale, but just bear with me. You can do this combo, which is very, very good control, and will keep you nice and mobile, lets you swing around. And there are lots of good combos in Tempo Royale. Even this spam combo is pretty strong. That combo is good. The back combo, very good focus damage there. And again, you can like move all over the map with this. I'll try to demonstrate that better. That's a very big lunge and has a very large area knockdown. And the range is still very good, like the damage is still good. The animation speed is better, so you will stack up procs nicely. For being on the go, it's a little bit better most of the time. But I find that if you just use the Galatine Prime with like Vauban and get a big vortex, like big range vortex, and use Cleaving Whirlwind, it's disgusting. Like the damage is so high. So yes, it will make a gigantic difference if you swap to Cleaving Whirlwind over Tempo Royale. One of the things a lot of people like about Heavy Blades, and by a lot of people I mean me, but a lot of people, is that the attack styles are so different. Like Cleaving Whirlwind, Tempo Royale are like different weapons. Whereas some melees, it's like just trade-offs, like you're still swinging a sword, you know? So, yeah. People are asking about the 9-iron again. Let's go back. Parts of the 9-iron are Equanidai 2, Sakala, and Rabvi. For any of my Zaws, all you need to know is Equanidai 2, unless like it's one of the Plague Strikes, then it might be different. The grip is always the fastest grip, and then the strike is always the fastest strike, or a lot of the time there's no choice. So you're going for the fastest stuff, and then you're going for 14%-ish crit, and then the most status you can get. That will get you any of my Zaw, pretty much all my Zaw builds, unless they're like a proof of concept thing. Manimal Hide, I hope you're still here. Hi. You say, I'm new and have never made a Zaw. In this stream, did you make your 9-iron? Yes. If you would like a guide to making Zaws, you should go to my main YouTube page and look up my Zaw cookbook, but I'll find it for you right now as well. Zaw cookbook. Ooh, it came up in the search. Is it popular? 11K, okay. Wow, Zaw Appendix has 59K views. That's nice. That's better than I had thought it did. Wow. I'm happy these videos did well. Here's the Zaw cookbook. Guide to making Zaws. Simple guide to making Zaws. And then the appendix is like a list of the ones I recommend actually making. It's not updated with new ones, but I will be making like a part 2 of that. So look forward to that. So I hope that helps. That's in chat. Go check that out. It's fairly short, and a lot of it is pretty simple, but like just to hand you a guide, you know. Halsey, welcome. Oh no, Cortel Maze, no. It's bad though, because the Sero has a really bad damage multiplier on slides. See, it has like a really low critical multiplier. Oh, getting 111% crit on slide is so good normally, but it's not good on the Sero. It's not awful, but it's not really worth it, in my opinion. Yeah, anyway, this weapon is beastly. I just like... one Forma? Come on. Like, one Forma for this? Like, Exodia Hunt? Like, suck it up. Go make Exodia Hunt. Like, go make an Exodia Hunt set. It's so worth it. Like, this weapon is so legit. Like, this is, like, my new favorite weapon. It's so good. Like, the reach is so overpowered. Graced by the hiccup. I know, right? It was perfectly timed. Like, I couldn't have done that better if I'd tried. Akrielga, my favorite Nikana stance is Blind Justice, but I don't think it's actually the best. I think Tranquil Cleave might be better. Whoa. Oh. Oof. Oof. Wrecked. And hammers even have like a higher finisher damage multiplier, so like you're even more definitely going to kill anything you do a finisher on. Oh. Crunchy. Magnus State, you can't use Xandy Hick here yet. Magnus State, there's a separate, like if you become a YouTube sponsor, you will be able to use it once. I only have one YouTube sponsor at the moment, but once I have 2 or more, you will be able to use the Xandy Hick emote on YouTube. If you were a sponsor, which is like being a sub on YouTube, on Twitch, sorry. But unfortunately, I can't grant that permission without Inkle being a sponsor. It'd be cool if I could just have it be like, if you sub one place, you sub both places. But that will be accessible soon. Maybe I will sponsor myself so that we can get that going, because I have like no sponsors. It would be a better selling point. Even just the auto attacking with this thing isn't bad. The auto attacks on this hammer stance suck, but like that's not even that bad. That enemy's having a bad day. What? When Streamlabs gets it shit. Yeah, Gray, it's Stream Elements that dropped the ball, but I think they are, because I've seen a lot of people using it, and a lot of people were complaining about how it was messed up before. So I think they may have fixed it. I'm gonna dig into their Discord a little bit this week, and hopefully figure that out, because you'll be able to earn stream currency on YouTube streams, which I'm very excited for. Very, very excited. I did a spreadsheet detailing all melee weapons and their DPS. I have found the best dual swords. It's the dual Skana. Get out of here. So the money you use to buy the Zop parts, how do I get that? Space, you're talking about the reputation that you use? Like the Cetus reputation? It's not money. You have to do bounties in Cetus. Or you can fish to your taste. There's a fair number of ways you can get it, but mostly it's just bounties. So we'll quickly go there. We're mostly talking about Zaws, so we might as well just show. Wimpy Lightning, welcome. No, great, it's fine. It just, like, I don't think that Streamlabs has that feature yet. Like, that's one of the things Elements is trying to do to eat Labs lunch, I think. Not to imply they actually are competitive, I don't know, but I imagine they probably are. Konzu, yes. So if you go to Konzu, who's here at the gate, and go bounties, and do some bounties, you will get a lot. See, it says Ostron standing 4,240 or whatever. Good. Oh, they made separate queues for Terrorlist and Tridolons. That was nice of them. Good job. Good job, DE. And then you're going to go to Hawk. You're going to go to Browse Wares. You're going to buy some parts. I want to say, as I usually do when we make Zaws. Welcome, you're back.
Hi.
How are you? Do you want some veggie chips? You like veggie chips. Now she's gonna stay here and eat more veggie chips, I guarantee. 100% guarantee. I usually try to mention when you're making Zaws, when you're looking at making Zaws, as you can see, the grips are all like the same, they're cheap, and the strikes are all the same, they're cheap, but the links get more expensive as you go up. I recommend these Aquanagi 2 links for pretty much every Zaw, but if you do not have this rank, like you can't buy this, or you just don't want to, this is like a very good budget version. This will give you pretty much the same speed, but they're just way cheaper. Like the standing is cheaper, they're cheaper to build, you can get them at a much lower rank, and it's pretty comparable. You're just going to get like a bit worse status output. The damage will be worse overall, especially if you have condition overload, but it helps, you know.
Thank you.
A wild girlfriend appears. What will Red do?
Got awesome eyebrows.
Oh, that's nice. That's true. You do have very prominent eyebrows. They're very sharp. Very vivid. Yeah, Cortel Maze, you should definitely make the gas corrosive build. I'm gonna play that more this stream, I think, because I found a good primary for it. Wimpy Lightning, I don't know if I actually answered you, but I am doing very well today. Thank you for asking. I hope you're doing well too. Do you pay subscription for Streamlabs or whatever service you use? Gugus, no, I don't. Most of them don't charge you, but a lot of them have like a premium version of the service. I think that's what Streamlabs does. I actually don't really know how Stream Elements makes money, but you know, could be like a breakout project. Space, you said about that fishing. How does that work, and how can I start that? So you're gonna have to buy a fishing pole. You're gonna need a little bit of standing, so do some bounties, and then go to Fisher Hylac. Look. Go browse wares and buy the Lenzo fishing spear, fishing pole. What is this? Like Breath of the Wild fishing spear, Tenno. Buy a fishing spear, and then the best way to fish for a standing is usually to wait for night, which I think we've been getting very lucky. Every time I want to demonstrate this, it happens to be night. Go to this pond, which I'm going to show you right now, and fish there for. They're called mortis lungfish, which are like everywhere. And they're very good for standing. There's lots of them. They don't give a ton of standing each, but it's very easy to catch a lot of them. And that's where I recommend you go. That vendor also sells something called Luminos dye, which you're going to want because it lets you see the fish in the water much more easily, which I will show you right now real quick. There are women on the internet, guys. I know, right? It's great. I like that feel. It hurts. Like, there's a good amount of women in my community, and a lot of people, like, there's so much gender assumption. It's understandable, but like, folks, we've passed 1990s. Like, it's not all men on the internet, for goodness sakes. The period of like nerds is over. Like, it's not like that anymore. I don't know. It's like a 1970s movie. 1990s is like giving people too much credit. So Luminos dye, boop, into the water, and then it will just highlight the fish. Who threw that? And you can see there's a little fish right there. I'm just going to throw the spear at it and miss. And if you don't miss, then you'll get a little fish. And that's it. So you're going to take this little fish. I just got that little fish. Let's say we got a bunch of fish. We got like 50 fish. Get like a lot. And yep. And then go back to Fisher High Luck, and you can sell it for standing. Somebody asked about a Scoliac Riven with negative slash damage. That's terrible. It'll be useless. That's like the worst possible thing you could get, would be negative slash. For the Scoliac to surpass the Atarax, you pretty much need, like, Maiming Strike and critical damage and some other relevant bonus, and no relevant curse. So it's gonna take something very good. Negative slash is like it will be like not even just weak, like it'll be useless. So definitely don't do that. So I've got this mortar slungfish, and you can see it's only worth 100 sandy, but it's very easy to catch a lot of these. Is the point? And it can be very, very fast. There you go. Get a bunch of those and then do that, and you will get standing fairly fast. It's just really boring. No, I mean, Teenager's Guide, what I'm trying to say is, like, the culture of, like, people who play video games are nerds and different than other people. Like, that's not the case anymore. Like, that's not relevant anymore. And there's also a lot, and there's the gender difference is, like, meaningless now. Like, as Spirit and Steel says, most of the gamers, a lot of people, most of the gamers they know are female now. Anyway. Everyone knows girls don't exist. They're all lies made by the government. Ouch. Unfortunately, the period of intelligence seems to be over on the internet, too. Ouch. Teenager's Guide says, to me, everyone's gender fluid until I figure out what gender they are. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like, if you don't tell me specifically what you want me to identify you as, I'm going to assume it, I'm going to act as though it just doesn't exist. Because it's better for you to not be inhibited. Anyway, I agree. Good thing. Good thing. Yeah, Gugus, I agree about the nerd stigma kind of dying in the last decade. Xandy, any early insight on the next framework? Wimpy, so I did a poll on the community tab here on YouTube, asking people which one they wanted first from Vauban, Volt, and Nidus, and people voted for Volt and then Nidus and then Vauban, which is what I wanted to do, so it worked. But But to my credit, I didn't say that before putting up the poll. It just happened to be the way I wanted. So Volt will be the next one. It will be an upgraded, updated version of Battery Volt, which is the Volt build most of you probably know from my channel. I've redone that like once or twice, but it never did well. And I think I know why. I think it wasn't framed the way that is the most helpful for people. So I'm going to try again. And also, like, it's a bit different now because we have Energizing Dash instead of Energy Overflow. So that the Nidus one is pretty typical Nidus. There's like, I feel like there's only one good build for Nidus. I don't know why there's talk about, people always ask for Nidus builds. I feel like just because they like Nidus, and people always ask for builds instead of trying to figure it out themselves. But Nidus, I'm still going to talk about it. Like, it's a very high value video to make, and a lot of people want to see it. So like, even if I think it's obvious, like, I'll have to make a video about how I think it's obvious. Maybe that will help people. I just, like, there's not that much to say about Nidus, you know. He's good, and you should use him in Onslaught, and that's pretty much all I have to say. Or, you know, Survival. And then the Vauban build is kind of different. I think Vauban also does not have very much build diversity, but he does have a little, and I think that there is a build that kind of bridges the, like, spamming CC everywhere and, like, doing something other than that. Grenades. That, like, do actual things. So I'm going to show that build, which I think is going to be pretty cool. I'm pretty excited for it. I'm most excited to make that video, but I also need the most time for it, so, you know. And then after that, we're pretty close to being done with Framework. I think that we need Octavia, we need Limbo. That one is actually kind of ready. I'm just waiting because it's, like, of a different ilk. I would like that one to be when the channel's not, like, dead because of the blacklisting thing. So I kind of want to wait on that one, but we'll see. I do have the material for it pretty much ready. Then the Octavia one, that one's a little complicated, but I'm not that far away from being done with it. And then that's kind of it. Nezha, I want to do a Nezha one before we do, like, the next run of Framework. I do want to do another Nezha video. I was kind of hoping to save it for a milestone, or, like, to celebrate when the blacklisting thing ends, if it ends. I think that'd be cool. Alternatively, if we have to move to a different channel, it would be really good as, like, a calling card that, like, this new channel is also me, it's real, to do a build I'm well known for, like a Nezha build. That seems wise, so maybe I'll do that. I don't know. I have that build done. That build's going to be a lot of fun. It is Ghost Rider Nezha, and I'm super excited for it. It's a lot of fun to play. Most of you have seen stuff of it, but not all of you, so that. Manimal Hyde says, your guides are for noobs like me and people that want to assure their builds. That's not true. Framework, a lot of the frameworks have very different purposes. There are a lot of them, like the Saren one is a little bit in that territory. The Nidus one is definitely in that territory. The Rhino one's kind of... I have some more spicy stuff for Rhino now. Some of them are in that territory where it's like there isn't really that much build diversity for the frame, and it's really more like, well, what can we do with what we have to, like, make it fun in some way. Saren, I'm, like, rolling my eyes, but, you know, whatever. Saren can be fun, but there are a lot of frames where that's not the goal at all. Like for Mesa, it's very much not for new players at all. It's really only intended for people that already have a Mesa build they like, and, like, want to min-max it or, like, see what someone would do. And the thing is, like, everyone has a Mesa video, so people do already have a Mesa build. Whereas, like, for Nezha, people don't really have, like, there aren't a ton of Nezha videos, just, like, on the internet, comparatively, so you know what I mean. So it differs a lot. They are not aimed at newer players or veteran players specifically. They're meant to be diverse in their purposes, and that's why the, like, next version of Framework will be kind of designed with that in mind, and the ones that are more new player oriented will be front loaded in the playlist, so that if someone sees one that's a newer player that's, like, not really meant for newer players, like, just because of its complexity or whatever, at the end when I say, like, go check out the Framework playlist, with this next run of Framework, they'll look at the playlist, and the ones that are suited for newer players will be at the beginning. Like, it will be ordered in such a way. I'll make it in such a way that they kind of lead into each other, you know what I mean? And then that way newer players will have a better experience of it. I think Framework is already a pretty good experience for veteran players, and I think it's not true at all that they're not for noobs. So that would be insulting if I didn't know better about your intention. A lot of veterans enjoy it, and a lot of new players just ask more questions because it's not really that well suited for new players. So we're going to try to make it do both. It can do both. People are asking about the blacklisting thing. Let's talk about that in just a sec. I want to put together my I want to start putting together my spice loadout. There it is, Quanta Vandal, the beast of dreams for this Ember loadout. So we'll talk about that a little bit. Sure. Quickly, I got a Riven for the Crunch. What stats should I try for? 2x. You can't figure that out until you figure out what the Zaw is going to be. It doesn't matter that it's for the Crunch, because the Crunch could be a machete, it could be a polearm. Like what Crunch? What? Like what is the weapon? Crunch is a strike with impact, sure, but that doesn't tell you enough to know what you want on it. I would recommend that you make the Zaw and then decide what you're going to get. Make a hybrid Zaw, run corrosive on it. Machetes and polearms are good, I don't know. And then after you've decided that, then look for what to roll for. I would say if it's a polearm, range is pretty good on Zaw polearms. Not amazing, but pretty good. I don't like the medium range weapons. I like weapons with like no range or like crazy range personally, but that doesn't mean it's bad. I think range on Zaw Rivens that are long, Zaws that are long, Rivens, whatever, you get it. I didn't know how to get myself out of that one. Are good. I've had one before and I thought it was nice. You're looking for about 100% range there, so it's going to be like a mini primed reach with like other stats. Maybe some of corrosive, some status or whatever. So I'd recommend that. Look for that. Crit damage is always nice. Status chance is always nice, especially on melee weapons. Attack speed is always pretty good, pretty top shelf stat. That stuff. That's my feels. Okay, Spangtank, welcome. Let's talk about that stuff for a little bit. I'm gonna make this look cool. I failed. We have to stare at this for a little while. Might as well have it. Okay, there we go. Yeah, boy. So people are talking about blacklisting thing. What I'm talking about is YouTube. I'm sure you've heard of other channels experiencing this. YouTube's algorithm sensitivity appears to be turned like way up currently. And a lot of people's channels are just getting permanently not recommended to people. Like all their videos are just never recommended to almost anyone. Because the algorithm has sort of like baselessly assumed that all of their videos are mature content and therefore won't sell as many ads. The way that YouTube advertises like stuff to people, videos to people, is usually based on how likely it is that the viewer will keep watching and how likely it is that they'll sell an ad. And before that sounds too criminal to you, keep in mind that like selling an ad is good for the content creator too. Like we split the money basically 50-50. So trying to recommend videos in a way that sells more ads is better for the content creator in theory. The way that it is not better for the content creator is that if they never recommend videos except to people that supposedly they can sell an ad to, then you don't gain any audience. And then long term, your growth just like tanks like into the ground. That is why you may have noticed our channel like whooshed up into like 19,000 and then it just hit a dead stop, and we've been there for like a month. Even though it was going so fast before, we just hit a wall because YouTube is not showing anyone my videos. All of my videos recently have had like the exact same view count. If you look at like the past 30 20-ish videos, not 30, 20-ish videos, you'll notice they all have almost exactly the same number of views. It's like 5,000. And that's because only people who are subscribed to me are the people that are watching them, which sucks. Obviously, that's awful, and I hate it. But there's nothing we can really do about it because at the moment they don't really have a solution. They don't have the technology to actually check whether videos are mature or not. Clearly, because of certain people putting up certain videos that don't need to be named because you all know what I'm talking about. That caused this problem in the first place. Now, this has been a thing for a long time. Like the algorithm like tells people, tells advertisers like what videos are rated, and yet we don't see those ratings. That's been true for a while, but it seems that the sensitivity has gone way up. So what can you do? YouTube is currently rolling out a feature to larger creators only at the moment, but it's coming down, where you can just rate your own video and accept responsibility for like what the video is, and that should fix the problem for people as long as they actually use that rating, instead of it just being like you can feel better placebo. I mean, it won't be an effective placebo because you literally will just see on the view counts that it will be the same. The moment that comes out, I will upload. I already have videos made to use when that comes out. The moment that comes out, I will instantly know whether it works just by immediately uploading a video. And if it doesn't get exactly 5,000 views, like, you know, thereabouts, then we know it fixed it. And if it does, then we know it didn't. And if it doesn't, then we'll just make a new channel. I already made the new channel. I already prepped what would be a new channel. Excuse me. There's not like another channel right now. Well, there is, but it's hidden. You don't, you know, it's, I'm not putting stuff on it. But if we need it, it's there. And we will shift. Teenager's Guide says, I wish there was like an ESRB rating for YouTube videos that the content creator could set themselves and could be flagged to set up or down over time. Well, there are ESRB ratings basically for videos. We just don't see them. YouTube is not showing you things based on what it thinks your age is. It just isn't telling you, and the videos don't say on them what they're rated. But they do have ratings that are exactly the same as like video game ratings or movie ratings or whatever. They're just not visible to you, to me, but they're visible to everyone else. Like advertisers in YouTube are seeing literally a letter, like the exact same as if it was a movie. This is a really good analogy I heard that explains this very well, is like it would be like if when you went to the movies, there was a scanner in the door that would scan your age, and then on the board that showed like what movies and showtimes there were, they would change to be only movies that you're like legally allowed to see or whatever, or movies that the thing thought you would buy or whatever. Like first it would do movies you're legally allowed to see, so it would just remove all the mature stuff or whatever if you weren't of age or something, and then it would remove the movies it didn't think you were interested in, and you'd look at it and theoretically it would only be things that you want to see and are allowed to see, but like for some people that would be nothing, like and like you should get to choose yourself, you know. Like it's not up to them to tell you what movie to watch. Like you should see all the movies and then you get to pick which movie you want to see. And more importantly, the director of the movie also wouldn't be told like your movie has been determined to be like rated R or whatever, like, but the director doesn't get to know that, like, and then they're like, why is my movie not getting watched? Like, it's not even getting shown. It's not that it's not getting watched, like, so that's what's happening. Good talk. We've talked about this a lot, and I will not stop explaining it when people ask. It is, it's very important. How long have you been alive? Oh, how long have you been live? For a second, I was like, what the hell? Hi. What's that?
It's a note.
No, what's that? No. You're doing something bad.
No, I'm not.
You are.
It's from a drug dealer.
No, it's not, though. You just wrote it. Oh, okay. it's not a bad note. Gukas said I'm doing a 24-hour stream. That's not true, Cookie. Sorry. But I'm not ending. We are still streaming for a little while. But I'm not doing it. This is not a 24-hour stream. That's not true. Gukas, stop doing that. Don't tell people that. You're getting people false hope. Direct advertising would be better, probably. It's something that BitChute is going to do, giving advertisers the ability to choose the channels they want to sponsor and have ads on directly. Yeah, I mean, Gugas, I think we're moving in that direction. How long have you been alive? I'd hope he'd been alive for a while. I know, like, I just thought I mean, that's not what you asked. I'm sorry, it was a bad reading, but I thought it was. I was like, why did you word it like that? Like, was I dead recently? Anyway, there you are. So yeah, I don't know. It's important. It's important to know that. I feel that one of the ways that I can get through this better, that content creators can get through this better, is just with awareness. Like, as long as all of you know that that's happening, I think we'll be fine. Like, you just need to be patient, and they will roll out a solution, and if they don't, I'll take it into my own hands, but we'll figure it out. It's just that for a little while it will look like my channel and a lot of other people's channels are like kind of dead. Like, but just don't say that, because you're gonna convince people that don't know what's going on that there's like actually something wrong with me or with the channel, and then they will leave. That's the only way people are gonna give up. So don't do that. Not that you all have been at all. You've all been great about that, actually, which has made me very happy and is the only reconciliation I have in this time of darkness. But just don't do that. Just keep that in mind. Space, you said, what's a good build for the Vectis for a Master Rank 6 like me? I don't really feel your Master Rank has anything to do with what is a good build for the Vectis. The builds that are good for the Vectis are good for the Vectis whether you're Master Rank 6 or Master Rank 20. I personally like this really weird build, but you should watch my one build to rule them all video and do that first, and then when you have these mods, you should try this build because it's very fun and it's very good, but it is harder to build because these mods are weird and not good on like any other weapons. So I'm going to recommend what's it called? One build to rule them all. Let's go find that video. What are we doing? Gugus, 24 hours. Woo! Don't black out on me, Gugus. I need you. I need you for stuff. Wait, it's in the tutorial thing. Yup. One build to rule them all. Bam. So, Space, watch this video and do that for all of your weapons until you know better, and then just do whatever else you want. Until you know like what you think would be good, just do what's in that video and everything will be like powerful. It's just there might be like a slightly better build if you finagle. This is a very finagle-y build that is not that similar to the one build to rule them all. This will be in like season 3 of Tools of the Trade. I do actually have a video on this exact build. If you look up Vectis Prime on my channel, you will find a whole video on this exact build. Which I recommend you do if you're interested in it, but it's not a very good, like, person who has just started the game build, because those mods are kind of janky and not that good on a lot of weapons. Quanta Vandal. Quanta. Okay, let's actually build that. And MR6 may not have access to the mods that make things good. I think that's the point he was making by mentioning MR. Yeah, but the thing is, that's deceptively relevant, because truly, like, if you don't have some of those mods, the best build is just as many of those mods as you have. Like, there isn't like a build that is better considering what you have. Like, it's still just as many of those mods as you have. And then, like, sure, if you have extra space, like, throw in some elements or whatever, but like, it's not, you know, it barely does anything. So so I highly recommend, Space, that you watch that video I posted, and or search one build to rule them all. I'm sure you'll find it on YouTube. And that will give you a very good baseline to work with. This needs more forma. What the hell? Why did I stop here? This is a good weapon. It deserves more. We're going to dash it up. Someone's asking for a Rubico build. So, Rubico, eh? And Space, please don't misunderstand. I'm perfectly happy to answer like specific questions, but I think that video is more helpful than me giving you random advice off the top of my head first. And then if you watch that video and you have questions, just come back and ask. I don't want you to think I don't want to help. I just honestly think that is the most helpful thing at that stage. Yeah, Space, if you ask for a build and people mention a Riven, just leave. Like, that's not helpful. Like, I don't know why people even include I've said this before, but like, why content creators even like Rivens, like, are even interested in Rivens, just baffles me. Like, it's the opposite of helpful. Like, nothing about Rivens is helpful for a content creator. I feel like, most of the time. It's fun, and there's nothing wrong with that, but ye old Rubico. So for the Rubico, how did Finagle come up? Who said Finagle first? By the way, Encore, the news odds are awesome. I will show the hammer one, which we've been using a lot. I will show that momentarily. Let's quickly show what I like on the Rubico. This is very much the one build to rule them all, but just not with dual stat elements. The Rubico's status is very, very low, and it's got very few shots in the magazine, not even amazing fire rate, and normally a very long reload. We'll get to that in a sec. So this is one of the very, very few weapons in the game where I don't recommend dual stat mods. I would use normal elements. I might suggest just doing prime cryo rounds. That's not like bad. But corrosive is nice. The damage bonuses on corrosive are nice. And when you do get the proc, then it will mean more, 30% of the time, 30% of your trigger pulls, you get a proc. So I don't know, like, probably corrosive, but whatever. And then for Eidolons, you can do radiation. A lot of people use this for Eidolons. I highly recommend Prime Fast Hands as your last mod, because this weapon's default reload is very long for a weapon with only 5 shots. That's bad, and I really think you want more reload. I personally prefer to use this weapon with Ivara, and Prime Fast Hands lets you fire Ivara's Artemis bow way faster, because reload speed gives you knocking speed with bows. That is, like, you put arrows back on the bow faster, and Artemis bow does count as a bow. So if you, like, spam Artemis bow, which is how I like to use it, which might be a little weird, it might not be what you like, but if you do like that, Prime Fast Stance happens to be very good with that, and then it's good for the Rubico for a totally different reason, and it's the same build for both, and then you have the corrosive chance for all of the arrows, and it's great. So do that. That's what I recommend. Even if you're not using this for Artemis Bow, I still recommend this build, but that's, like, Prime Fast Stance has some extra value there. You could also use, there's an Arcane that gives you reload speed on snipers. That's good with the Rubico. I don't know what you'd put in this slot otherwise, but you could do Argon Scope, I guess. I don't know. Not a big fan of that on sniper rifles personally, but it's not awful. It's not bad at all. I just don't like it that much. Hey Xandy, what's the highest damage you've ever seen? I haven't really thought about that. I really hate big numbers. I don't like that mindset. No personal offense. It just, honestly, I don't even look. I have no idea. I don't even have an answer. Boobadoo, 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 boo. Xandy, you're gonna upload this stream to YouTube afterwards? I usually miss the beginning and catch up with watched dishes. Parody Schmerity, I experienced a weird glitch where YouTube just didn't make an archive. YouTube automatically makes archives of YouTube streams, and it weirdly just didn't for the last one, the one last week, I mean. I meant to, sorry. I usually it just happens automatically, and then of course I put them up. But for whatever reason, it just didn't happen last week. But yes, I mean, I streamed on Sunday on my phone, and it did on YouTube, and it did make an archive, so I think that's not broken anymore. It must have just been a glitch on YouTube's end. I think they're full of buggy netcode, possibly because they're trying to fix all this crap that's going on with them. Spirit and Steel, I'm really thankful that you have that sentiment about my community. I'm happy that all of you have maintained interest in my content, even though I know it can look unexciting, when the views are down. That can dissuade people sometimes, and I really respect that none of you have ever really seemed to care. That's really very heartwarming. So thank you. But I highly recommend, yes, that you join my Discord server or my Twitter, because then YouTube has no control over what you see. You will just always get shown my content because I put links up. I'm going to stop telling people to ring the bell and subscribe and stuff, because it honestly does nothing for me. It is much more valuable that you show the videos to other people yourself, because YouTube won't, or follow me on Twitter or Discord, because YouTube won't show you my videos, but I can. If you follow me somewhere else, YouTube has no say. You will get my content. CGP Grey has a video that I really like where he just made an email list a couple of years ago when something similar was happening. So Why are there storm noises in the background? And why are they so nice to listen to? Because they're from Rainymood, and Rainymood is thebomb.com. Literally thebomb.com. Might as well be the name of the website. Bam. Okay, let's test out the Ember thing. No, stop killing everything. Ooh, gas cubes! It works! Oh, baby! Okay, hold on. I heard it. I didn't see it, but I heard it. Oh, the gas bomb cubes. Beautiful. Ooh. Ooh, the gas bomb cubes. I love it. Oh, that's spicy. Oh, that's the best. Does it make them gas? That's something to test in the simulacrum. Whether it makes them gas if you're not, you don't have the, like if you put out cubes while you don't have flash accelerant active, and then you flash accelerant and then you blow up the cubes, does it give them gas or do they stay toxin? I wonder. Oh, that's so good. I love that. And then the laser is corrosive and gas. Oh, beautiful. We have corrosive, right? Yep. Yeah. And then we go boop, and then we have gas cubes. Oh, oh, it's nice. I love that. That's the best. That is the best. Let's see how the damage is with this with gas. Or those enemies will all just die because Saren. Pretty bad. That's as expected. Not very good. Single target gas procs, you know. Anyway, do you know of any crowd control Excalibur builds? Maximum range. Maximum range. If you wanted to get creative, read Janky. You could put Blast only on your Exalted Blade, but I would recommend using Blast and Corrosive anyway, so your Exalted Blade and Exalted Blade build specifically will already have pretty good crowd control, like just by spamming Exalted Blade. Also, the enemies will just be dead, so you don't have to crowd control them. But if you explicitly want like cheap and crowd control-y build, I highly recommend that you just build for max strength. That's also the fastest build, one of the faster builds in the game. Excalibur's fastest build. And also one of the faster builds in the game overall, which is nice, a nice bonus. Use your 1, use your 2, don't use anything else, because they'll suck. Exalted Blade will be okay, you know. What's your Synoid Simulor build? I don't really have one. I think Synoid Simulor is too hard to get no more power than other weapons out of. I don't think it's worth it anymore, after its severe nerfs. What's the thing you said allows me to see fish? Space, it's called Luminos dye. You buy it from the person that sells the Go to Fisher High Luck in Cetus, and they sell the fishing spear, but they also sell a thing called Luminos dye. It looks like this like weird blue looking prism thing. That's what you're looking for. That is the dye that you can put in the water to make the fish blue. Mandalorian Shepherd, welcome. Oh, sorry, that you're a shepherd, right? You're Ice Shepherd. You're Shepherd. I always forget that you have a... It's Ice Shepherd and then Mandalorian Shepherd. So I get confused. But yes, that's you, right? I will remember. Bam! Oh my god, the bomb cubes, the gas cubes are so good. Oh, I know these enemies are low level and this is the Quantum Vandal, but still, like, damn. Oh, it's so beautiful. No, I sense you. I sense the enemies. Gas bomb cubes. Okay. Oh, it's so fun. So fun. Yeah, gray, of course, but I mean, it can still feel like, when the views are down, people can get the wrong idea. Like, maybe the content creator isn't as satisfied, you know. Let me scroll down a little bit, because I missed a bunch of comments, because I was answering those. Why would my enjoyment have anything to do with how many other people are watching your videos? You say that, but a lot of people... I know I probably don't attract a lot of this type of audience, but a lot of people are excited about things really only in proportion to how much they think other people are excited about things. There's a lot of mimetic desire in YouTube, in all social media. And so if a thing looks like it's popular, like people like it more, even though that's really stupid. But it's a very real phenomenon, and it is very damaging in situations like this, where people think something is bad simply because it is doing worse in the random algorithm. Anyway. MomQuest, I'm sorry. It's probably it probably sounds bad on some speakers. No, I mean, Gugus, that's fine. If it works for you, that's totally okay. I'm just saying, like, for a lot of people, it's a matter of, like, they don't care what media they use. They just don't want to not get the videos. But Gugus, I really don't mind. It's okay. If you don't want to use Twitter or Discord or whatever. I truly don't mind, if that's what works for you. And I know there will be lots of my audience where that is what works for them. And that's why I want it to be fixed on YouTube. If everybody if everyone in the world had a Twitter, then theoretically this wouldn't be a problem, but that's not the case. Anyway, how do you get the Quantum Vandal? From Barrow. From Barrow. Xandy, what melee stance is the most fun for you? Not best or most damage? For me, it's Final Harbinger. Final Harbinger is also one of the best and most damaging stances, though. So that's a good favorite to have if you want it to be fun. Because it also kills absolutely everything. What's my favorite melee stance just for fun? I don't know, actually. Maybe Blind Justice. I like Blind Justice. I truly do not think it is that good, but it is alright, and it's fun. I like Final Harbinger a lot, too. I like Tempo Royale a lot. That's one where I think Cleaving Whirlwind is better for gameplay, and I do like it, but I like Tempo Royale more for, like, actually using. Anyway, I don't know. Wasn't this the legendary frictionless fidget spinner? Hitesh, this Quanta Vandal doesn't do it. I think only Mutila's Quanta does it. Because Quanta Vandal doesn't spin. Salmon, you're talking about rearing children on my Discord? What the hell? Not sure if awesome or really weird. Basically, the conclusion was don't give children internet until they prove to be mature enough to handle it. Interesting. I'm not sure how I feel. Like when, though? When they prove that they can handle it, how? I think my agreement hinges on that. I think we should have that rule for adults, too. I know, right? See, I can get behind that. Two stars. Nice. Cash money. 3 stars. 4 stars. What? That's awesome. Wow, that's lucky. Damn. That's a decent amount of endo. Just like completely for free. Sweet. Let's get some branding going. See, I don't know. You said I think it would ultimately be up to parents to decide when to give kids their internet. I really begrudge that people just decide to be parents because they want to. Like, you should be a parent if you're actually good at parenting. And there's no way to get society to do that, but like, I wish that the people who had children were like actually good at having children. Because they're usually not. In fact, it feels to me like the better you would be at raising children, the less you want to have children. The more responsible and like measured you would be about not abusing your power as a parent and actually being a good parent, the less those people tend to want to have kids, which is the problem with parenting, it seems to me. And I think that extends to the internet. Like, parents should have no say in the decision of when their children get the internet. It should be when the child should get the internet, not when their parent feels like they should. Unless their parent is actually a knowledgeable parent and, you know, knows that. Anyway, whatever. You get the point. That's just what I think. When a child can watch something and not blindly agree with everything the person is saying when they can think critically about information. Sure, yes, okay. I can get behind that. But see, you have to be a parent that can actually evaluate that. Well, Teenager's Guide, you say, as the second oldest in a family of 5, the best way to learn how to have kids is to have kids. Like, the best way to get better, maybe, but, like, there are a lot of people who, like, the kind of person they are really shouldn't have, like, dominion over other people's lives. They're not really a good type of person to have that, any power, let alone power over a child who's impressionable and can easily be harmed by the parent being a terrible person. I feel like the problem I'm trying to say is people who start trying to be good parents are not the kind of people who will end up being, like, have the people that are gonna be good at it, like, start doing it. I don't know. I'm not explaining it very well, but maybe you get what I mean. Who are your favorite YouTubers? A lot of people. I really like CGP Grey. I really like Kurzgesagt. I'm an old CivHD fan, but mostly stylistically. I disagree with some stuff he does, but like as a person. But his style of entertainment, I think, is innovative. It's not necessarily like my exact preference, but it does some interesting things that I think should be done more, and that I have on occasion tried to do. Who else do I like? I like Joey Zero. I like Joey Zero's kind of content. I'm picking up what Porphy's putting down. Like Porphy and Xanagoth's new type of content. I didn't like the all one frame raid videos. It's just not my taste. But I like Xanagoth's newer content that's like jank builds. Like the way he presents them I think is fun. A good example of how to just have fun with the game. I like how Porphy presents stuff. We'll see, but I don't know, like, Teenager's Guide, I really do disagree. I don't think it's end of story. I think plenty of people are dedicated to being a good parent, but they have no idea what that means. And their perspective is just bad. Like, they as a human being just do not have good perspective and never will. They just do not have the type of mind that gets good perspective. And so they are not going to know what good decisions to make for a child ever. They'll get better at it as they do it, but they are starting so low on the ability to do that I just wish that people who were starting higher at the ability to do that, people who are good at doing that naturally, I just wish those people would have kids more. But like I don't think they want to, and I don't disagree. I don't want to have kids. I don't know whether I'd be a good parent. I don't think I necessarily would be, but the point is, I think a lot of those people both would make the best parents, but also want to be the parents the least. And I think that is not a non-issue. I think that societal like result is not a non-issue, but I agree that there isn't much we can do about it. Sure, and I agree that the good intentions are important. I agree. I very much agree. I think that is indeed what's lacking in lots of parents. Sure, this is an interesting conversation to be on. I think you'll be a great mom, Xandy. Thank you. That's really nice of you. I'm too broke to be a real parent, so my clan mommy instead. Yeah, Gray. See, I feel that way. Like, I don't know. Like, I want to live my life. I don't want to make someone else's life. I have my own stuff to do. I don't know. I just don't, like, why? Anyway, I'm not going to get into it. I don't want to be mean to people who want to have kids by talking down to it so much. It's just something I don't like. Yeah, yes, that's what I'm talking about. The assumption that the parents themselves are not childish. Like they are. Right. And often, to say the last thing I want to say about the parenting thing, oftentimes the kind of person that has kids because they want to, like, you shouldn't bring a life into the world because you want to. You should bring a life into the world, you should want to. but because you're a good person to bring a life into the world. You know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't do it. You shouldn't have a child. You shouldn't create another person because you feel like having another person. Like, what? That's a terrible reason to, like, you know, and you can say, oh, that's good because then the parent cares about their child, but selfishly, like that, I don't know. Anyway, that's my feel. Gugus the jumps. The hops. That was some mad ups. Anyway, I think our society romanticizes parenthood but seldom prepares people for the responsibility. I'd go so far as to say never prepares people for the responsibility. And the romanticization is also very false. Like, parenting is very hard. It's a lot of effort. It is not pleasant. You know, it has its own rewards, sure, but it's not a bouquet of roses. It's very difficult. It's not something you would want to do because you wanted to. That just doesn't make sense. You will probably not want to once you're doing it. And then, you know, if you enjoy making the child's life a good thing, that's fantastic of you. But I think a lot of the people who do things because they want to, that are major life decisions that affect someone else, are not the kind of people who will be like, well, but I'm benefiting someone else, so it's okay that it sucks for me, even though originally I made this decision for myself. Like, no, like, that's not going to happen. I don't know. That's a logical contradiction. I don't know. Anyway. That's all I wanted to say about that. Sorry, I'm going kind of off the rails. Sorry, let me just scroll back up. I missed a bunch of things that could have been awesome comments. Pedro, you said obligatory question. Your thoughts and even possible rage regarding Korra. I really don't have anything to say. A lot of people have been asking about Korra, and I just don't have anything interesting to say. I think she's okay. I think she's not that bad. I think people dislike her more than actually makes sense because she's a jack of all trades, and that makes it seem like, oh, she's not as good at this as she's not as good at crowd control as Vauban. She's not as good at exalted first ability as Atlas, but she has both of those things. That's the whole point of Korra. And I don't think she's amazing, but like the point of her is that she has both those things and is a jack of all trades. And I think that people don't like her because they just don't think about it that way. Or they're just not to her taste. People don't care about Kavats, maybe, or whatever. But I don't really have anything else to say about her except that. Like, I think about her what she is. She's okay, and I think she's okay. I think she's kind of fun. I don't know. I like having a Kavat and a Sentinel. That's for what it's worth, which I don't know if that's worth anything to anyone, but I like that, personally. But whatever, you know. Anyway. Sometimes things do work out. Not all relationships are terrible, and not all women are toxic. I'm sorry your experience has been otherwise. Exactly. Like, just don't, you know. We're all not everyone. And everything I've been saying about parenting, again, like, it could result in a good situation. Like, I you know, again, not everyone is the same. But people do follow general trends, sure. It's just very important to clarify, like, when you're saying, you know, all people are blah, like, clarify that you don't really mean everyone, because a lot of you don't want to throw the people that are the exceptions under the bus. Like, those are the people we need. We need those people. Like, give those people credit for being, you know, different than the horrible norm, which is indeed horrible. Thing is, we already have a frame that is not only a jack of all trades, but is a master of all trades as well. But that's not true. Octavia is good at different things than Korra. We have lots of jack of all trades style frames, and a lot of people say they're very bad because they're not good at one thing. And sure, that sometimes that's bad, but sometimes it's good. Parents that adopt have to prove they're capable parents before they can adopt. Sort of. It's very subjective, testing whether someone would be a good parent. But I mean, that's an interesting way to put it, sure. This actually ended up being a very interesting discussion, though. Limbo Onslaught troll build? I don't want you to do that, so I'm not going to describe it to you. Just don't do that. That's what I want you to say. See, Gukas, you've had this line for a while, and I find it to be a very interesting thing about talking with you. But like, people aren't slaves to their hormones. Like, people do things that are not suggested by their hormonal urges all the time. I mean, surely you don't think that people have no control over what they do. Like, you think they have some control, just not. You think they don't have the final say, right? Like, people have some free will. People have some responsibility for their actions, just not enough, in your opinion, right? And I just disagree. I think people ultimately do have the final say in what they do. But, like, people are not, like, people don't automatically have children because their body tells them they want children. Like, that's just not what happens. Like, it's plain to see. All you have to do is meet, like, one person that is not a complete moron, and, like, they will not do things if they're a bad idea just because their hormones tell them to. That's just not what happens. But still, I mean, it's not like I'm not picking up what you're putting down in general about, like, people, do things that they may not have thought through because their hormones are telling them to. Like, in the world in general, that is a thing that occurs. Like, sometimes and sometimes not. But I don't know. I feel like you so strongly have no faith that people can ever make decisions about what they do. I don't know. Maybe I don't want to strawman your opinion though. I feel like I'm not meaning to, but I think I'm going too far and making your opinion seem unreasonable. So I do not intend to. I just really I don't know. I feel like there are loads of people that do not do what their hormones tell them because it's just obviously stupid. Like, but I do agree that most people are uninformed and they make bad decisions. That's not even a matter of agreement. It's just true that people do make bad decisions. Come for Warframe content, talk about life. Perfect. Yeah, well, I don't know. You get what you pay for. Pierce, there are a lot of weapons that are not like that bad and are at low MRs. Like, MR doesn't totally equivalent to weapon power, even though they did kind of try to change it so it did. I would say that a really good way to get powerful weapons at a sooner MR than you should is to go for melee. A lot of melee weapons are not powerful based that much on their numbers, so it's like a lot of melee do better than their numbers would suggest, is what I mean. And the mods for melee weapons are very powerful, even the non-advanced ones. Like, you don't have to have Blood Rush or Condition Overload or whatever. Like, a lot of the basic melee mods are very strong, so I'd recommend some melees. But specifically, off the top of my head, I don't really have anything specific to recommend. But it would be cool to make a list of, like, weapons that are stronger than their MR is in general. That seems worthwhile. Would be cool to do. Welcome to Xandy Strings, where we don't talk about anything on topic. Hey, we do, just not entirely. David says, hey Xandy, 2 questions. Been testing the new Heavy Blade Zaw. Love it. Have you tried it yet? We're going to get a new Zaw cookbook soon. We're going to get a new Zaw appendix soon. The way you make Zaws is still the same, so the cookbook is staying the same, but Appendix 2.0, yes, that's totally happening. I'm very excited for it. It's going to be probably the Heavy Blade Zaw, although my hopes are not very high. It'll be the Nikana Zaw, because I want to say that it's, like, not amazing. And the Hammer Zaw is insane. Like, so good. Hammer Zaw is, like, one of the best weapons in the game. I wish I was being hyperbolic, or I don't wish I was being hyperbolic, because I'm not. Dead Jockey, we're mostly testing the Hammer Zaw, but currently I'm leveling up Quanta Vandal because I wanted to show something for a very spicy new Ember playstyle. So currently we're Quanta Vandaling, but we were looking at a Hammer Zaw, which is extremely powerful, and we will go back to during this stream. We're going to go for like another 45 minutes or so, maybe. So we'll forma this, and then do the Hammer Do, and then I'll have to get going. Why won't you die? There we go. At least there's no pettiness and drama like in other streams, only because I curb stomp them every like 5 minutes. Or not really. Anyway. Usually it's just not necessary, but like minds attract. Group dynamics. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Gray, I would argue though that like, although we are although we are not dying of as dumb things and living longer and our lives are better in general, I do think that we've exchanged simple problems for complicated problems. That is probably a conversation for another time, but I think that there's some negative bounce back where like we have different problems now and the problems are like subtler, like invisible, and so it's like harder to get rid of them. They don't seem like problems to a lot of people. Gukas, I think that we might be nitpicking terms. You're saying there's only one kind of intelligence. It's not participation trophy to say there are different kinds of intelligence. I think we might just be like talking about different things. There's emotional intelligence. There's like, you know, book smarts versus wisdom. Like those are very different things, you know. I think that you might just be referring to one of those things with the word intelligence. I don't know. Surely you think that emotional and social intelligence are... social intelligence, let's say. You probably don't like the idea of emotional intelligence. That's me assuming, but tell me if I'm wrong. But social intelligence, yeah? Like communication skill is very different from like raw intelligence or, you know, like calculating speed, for example, of the brain, like is pretty much just genetic, I feel like. You know, you can practice it, but where you start is pretty genetic. Social intelligence is going to be a combination of like your ability to empathize, your ability to sympathize, kind of your vocabulary, I guess. So in that sense, a little bit raw intelligence. And then like your experiences, I think a lot more than some kinds of intelligence. We need to go... Oh. We're leaving. Oh. Wimpy Lightning gets my job. Just per undiluted Warframe fun and babies. That sounds like a cocktail that I'm going to drink tonight. In before I design a... thing. Cocktail that is called nothing but Warframe and babies. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Wimpy Lightning, if anything, I would credit, like, I was an English major, and most of the reason is that I think English shouldn't be a major. I think it should just be, like, something you're required to learn. Because it is much harder to do anything effectively, in my opinion, if you do not have a working knowledge of the language that you are doing the thing in. And so I took English mostly as like a I don't want a major, so I just wanted to round out my intelligence the best way I thought I could. And that was an okay decision. I don't know. English as a major is like, I think wastes a lot of time with the literary canon, and presents it quite badly. Like presents it in a way that's like, you would enjoy these works more if you weren't forced to read them way too fast for an assignment. But whatever. I mean, I did the best I could, you know. And now we have some nice stuff. I mean, Gugas, surely you'll admit that you have biases. Folks, I mean, you know, people have different perspectives. There's nothing wrong with it. As long as there's the rest of us here providing perspective, then there's really no danger in people having a different perspective. Perfectly fine. I agree that in general, you know, like, it's good to broaden people's horizons and nuance things as much as possible, but there's really nothing wrong with, having a community like this where somebody has a particular perspective on stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing dangerous about that. But still. I don't know, Gukas. I still think, like, come on, like, nuance things a little bit. It is, the world is more complicated than... I agree, like, the absolute statements of nihilism, like, it's... I don't know. I have my own biases, but I would go so far as to say that's just not true. I don't know. I think the world sucks and is full of idiots too, but I just like it's just not true that the world is that bad. Like there are good people in places. They're just spread out. I don't know. There are different people in places. I shouldn't say good. I don't think they always are good, but certainly different. Could you teach English to people in need? Well, like English grammar, sure. I actually, one weakness of me as an intellectual, I guess, a human being, is that I'm not that good at with other languages. I'm good at learning them, but because I have a handwriting disorder, it can be very, very difficult for me to take classes on them because most classes on other languages involve a lot of handwriting. For example, when you learn Japanese, it's pretty hard to learn characters without like drawing them, or like more importantly find a class that will do that and without insisting that you write the characters physically. I really just can't very effectively, and so that's been a problem for me. But I know a good bit of Japanese, I know a good bit of French. Possibly I will be involved in that someday. Yeah, it would be fun. I like talking about English because I think a lot of English teachers are a little too highbrow, not taking it down to earth too enough. Making English too much of an intellectual language. Well, Gukas, like, I agree about, you said nihilism is the objective, inevitable conclusion of objective analysis of life. I agree, but there are still different ways to look at that nihilism. There are still different ways to think about that nihilism. Like, I agree, like, there's no meaning in anything, sure. But, like, you can see that as, that has positive and negative consequences. There are good and bad things about there being no inherent meaning in the world. I don't really want inherent meaning in the world. Anyway, I don't know. I just like, and you could view it differently. I don't entirely think it's that sensible to view it differently. There really aren't any values in the world, but you can make your own, and there's really nothing wrong with that. In my opinion, that's a matter of opinion, sure. Space, I'm glad you left me a sub, thank you. I appreciate it. I'll see you later. If you're around in comments or other streams, feel free to ask for help with stuff. Zen, you need sign language, my guy. Yeah, that would actually be pretty helpful. Great, that's a good point. I should learn sign language. Folks, it's great to talk about this kind of stuff, and I'm glad that, as you all know, I'm glad that my channel, my community can be a forum for this, but don't pile on to each other. Like, it's just not useful. I'm gonna ask Teenager's Guide and Gukas, both of you, like, if you say something and it's not going to be useful to someone, please just don't. Not ever. Like, obviously it's fine to be conversational, but like, if what you're saying is only argumentative to each other, like, it's not helpful. Feel free to say it in privacy, but please just don't hear. It's just not helpful. But yeah, Jose, back to the Japanese thing. Calligraphy and like the style of handwriting, yeah, is very important in a lot of Asian languages, and for a variety of reasons. And so it is a little bit problematic to not be a capable handwriter in languages like Japanese. As a native Japanese, it is hard to learn letters if you're not writing and using it. Yeah, like, I feel that. I'm definitely like decent at speaking Japanese, but the writing system has left me since I learned it painstakingly with my weird condition. But yeah. Yeah, like Macroshaft, I think optimistic nihilism is absolutely a thing. To me, because of my biases, I think that is just the natural thing to think. Like, there's obviously no inherent meaning in the world, and that has, like, I don't really feel that there's anything bad about that. I guess it would be convenient for some people if there was inherent meaning in the world, but like, I think there's lots of good things about that. And that's just how I feel. Crack. Lift your head up. I hate Noxes because they always make really weird, like the way that they react to like certain procs makes it really hard to hit their head. I paused the video, Xandy, and I just realized I forgot to fast forward back to live. Cookie Cracker, I had said when you asked the question about the biggest damage number I'd seen that I never look at that. Like, I honestly just don't care. I really don't like big damage numbers because as a content creator, I feel that it has caused a lot of problems for the community where people are looking for more damage even when it literally doesn't do anything. And that's kind of where like a lot of the problems with Rivens come from, where people see big numbers on Rivens and don't even think about like that actually barely even does anything. I feel that that's a huge problem in Warframe as a whole, because it makes a lot of people focus on I don't really know what to say, how to say it. Like, the community focuses a lot on, because I don't want to say like overcompensation, I don't want to say like focusing on the wrong thing. It's not really that exactly. Anyway, let's just go with those things for now. And I think that the big damage numbers mindset comes from that. I think that a lot of people don't understand buildcraft in this game that well because they're looking at numbers and it just doesn't really matter. And I think that not only are a lot of people wanting to min-max and focusing on numbers, which is just not the best way to min-max in this game, but also a lot of people are focusing on huge damage, even though it doesn't really do anything in the type of content we have, at the cost of possibly having more fun with the game with like synergy and stuff. If you like huge damage numbers, there's nothing wrong with that. If you're having fun, that's cool. But a lot of people have this idea that you kind of need it, or a predisposition for another game that it matters, or it's the way to min-max it, or whatever, like, and it's just not. And so I, as a content creator, mostly, I just really hate that, and I wish people wouldn't do it. So I don't even really look at how big numbers are. So I don't know. I would love to just answer you, but I honestly don't really know. And I do have strong feelings about the damage numbers thing. MomQuest, I would love to have you in a squad, but I'm just going to finish, like, I'm going to do 5 more rounds of Hydron just to finish this Quanta Vandal run, and then we're going to show the hammers off for a little bit just for the people who haven't seen it, and because it's really fun. Then I'm going to have to go, because it's, like, been 3 hours. But still, we had a great stream today, great first stream, and I'm glad that the quality seems to be working well for most people. Also, a very small hiccup. That was a really weak hiccup. Someone said, if you don't mind telling what condition you have, just dysgraphia. It's kind of like dyslexia, but for writing rather than reading. My brain is not good at making the motions that... translating words into the motions that would be pen strokes. My brain is just, like, very weak at that. And so I feel rather faint and dizzy, and my mental state deteriorates when I try to do it. And I'm just bad at it. Like, if you look at my handwriting, it's just like, what? What's even happening? Which is not really a huge deal. Like, I was lucky to be born in this time because we have computers and typing and stuff. But when I was younger, it was a much bigger problem because I didn't know that was why I was doing so oddly badly at some things. It's also kind of harsh on the SATs. Not the SATs, but, like, standardized testing that involves writing. It's rather difficult to get accommodations for, because you have to get it diagnosed, and then, like, diagnosed, I don't know, like, should it even be something that you call being diagnosed? I don't know, whatever. Anyway, you have to, and then, you know, get approval, and then go to a separate, you know, thing so you can type your essay, and then without cheating, and then, you know, which is, like, it's not the end of the world, you know, I got through it, whatever, but, like, it's obnoxious. It's a pain. I'm very happy to be in the land of people not caring about that, which is great. Both dysgraphia and dyslexia. No. Salmon, the kiss of death. Phyto. That sounds hard. Ah. Okay. Rest in peace. Ooh, ooh. Oh, great. Bringing out the big guns. Hey, now it's only been 2.5 hours. It's true. It's true. Charles McFarlane, I'm not surprised to hear you haven't heard of dysgraphia. I think both, one, that it is the type of condition that is just underdiagnosed, and two, that it is maybe not that helpful to call it a condition that is diagnosed. I personally think it's kind of reductive to just call things disorders and conditions and stuff. You know, it's really just how people are a lot of the time, and calling it something so official is not helpful in a lot of cases, just in my personal opinion. But I think it is a condition that is not diagnosed, like, very much. Like, and I bet a lot of people who have minor dysgraphia just don't know. I mean, no? I don't know. Anyway, just some thoughts about that. Just like a doctor, because you can't read their handwriting for shit. Ouch. Savage. Shout out to doctors that have good handwriting. I know it's a struggle. Like, doctors work hard, but really, if you write people think my current doctor has, like, impeccable handwriting. She has amazing handwriting, and I love it. I literally, like, I read the bottle and I'm like, oh, it's so clear. I know what I am supposed to do, and it feels great. It's a good feeling. That's a little bit too real for me. That's awesome. So Xandy, have you figured out how to do much with Korra? She's just jack of all tradesy. I don't know. I don't feel there's much to figure out. I do wish some parts of her were a little bit different, sure, but what? Parody, that's evil. You're left-handed, but you were made to write with your right hand before even the next part. Already evil. Or you got hit with a ruler. Your teacher hit you if you didn't write right-handed. What an idiot. Why are the education system is dead. It is. It's dead. They're good teachers. Shout out to all the good teachers, but damn. There's not very many of you, is there, good teachers, are there? I'm not even a good teacher. I just failed my is-are distinction. Ooh, these gas cubes, though. What the? Okay. Did those cubes blow each other up? It really looked like that. Never seen a doctor with good handwriting. Yeah. And yeah, Gugus, exactly. Like they often have to write very fast. That's fair. I mean, please don't misunderstand. I agree with you. Like, I don't mean to hate on doctors for not having good handwriting. It's just like, it's important to have good handwriting as a doctor. And you know, realistically, to take the time to make sure it's clear, because it's very important. What you're writing is very, very important to the person you're writing it for. Okay. More Hammersaw and testing bomb cubes. Gas cubes. Oh, gas grenade cubes. Oh, yes. If you have ever wanted a beam laser with a mounted gas grenade launcher on it, you come to the right place, Steno. Start just bomb cubes? Ooh, not even with a full build. Alright, let's go get a full build. I just wanted to see, like, how far, because it was one-shotting all those enemies. I wanted to see how far just that damage would go. Not as far as I wanted, but that's totally fine because we're about to add way more. Weiter sense. So remember, because we are using gas bomb cubes, and I know you don't see gas, I'll explain that in a sec. We want both toxin mods because that's what gas procs inflict toxin procs. So the toxin damage scales it up more. We have corrosive. This weapon is default electricity. So what we're doing here is we have just toxin. That'll combine innately with corrosive. But then we can use flash accelerant to add heat damage to the weapon after the fact. This will switch the damage on the weapon to being gas and electric instead, or in the case of the cubes, gas and blast. Yeah, they have innate blast. And so that will give us gas bomb cubes, which is very good AoE. So we will test just this without even reducing armor at all. Activate the gas bomb cubes and do it. Ooh, juicy. Ooh. Ooh. And then you can finish them off with corrosive once the effect wears off. So see, this is great damage. Very nice damage. Delicious. And then when you have a group of enemies, you can boop and switch to gas and doot. And even the gas laser them, that's not that strong, but you can do it. When there's a lot of enemies in a group, you can gas cube bomb them. And then when it wears off, you can finish them off with corrosive. And it doesn't really matter what order you do it in, because the toxin procs will retroactively tick for more if you reduce the armor while they're on. They evaluate the target's armor every time they tick. So if you toxin proc and then corrosive, then you will still get better damage. It's like these enemies are close enough; they can get gas cubed. Then like we'll stack it up on this enemy a bit. I hope they don't die. 3, 2, 1, 0, and now we're back to corrosive, and I'll shoot. Okay, well they died really fast, but anyway, you get the point. Playing around a little bit. Cookie Cracker, larger damage doesn't matter. This damage spreads around very effectively. I could not give less of a crap about larger damage numbers. So you can also do this with... Well, let's show the hammer first. A lot of people haven't seen the hammer. We're not doing anything with Ember with this. We're just showing the hammer damage. Boop, boop. Boop. Boop, boop, boop. Delicious. Boop. Boop. So good. So good. Such crowd control. So strong. Again, Cookie Cracker, if it's to your taste, that's fine, but like you don't need more damage than a lot of these. And this is giving it crowd control and it's spreading the damage around more effective, which is usually more important. So, more important to completing the content. It's okay if you prefer to get big damage, that's totally fine, but it's not somehow mystically better. Like that's, and please don't talk about it that way. Well, I mean, feel free to talk about it that way, but you're wrong. It is, in fact, a matter of taste. Have you covered acid shells? Macro Shaft, no, but it's something that it's more that I, like, don't know where I think it is worth it. It's really good with Ash and Seeking Shuriken. That's a Life of Rio thing. It's really good with Viral Procs. That's maybe a Life of Rio thing, but a Joey Zero thing. I have a kind of interesting idea for making a really good 100% status build for the Sobek that might make it good on its own. That's kind of what I want. For whatever reason, I just don't want to use the Sobek as a combo weapon. There's no good reason. I just, like, for whatever reason, I don't want to. So we'll see. Ooh, that juicy golf swing damage. I know, right? Oh man, it's like playing golf. It's literally like playing golf with these enemies. These enemies are like, no, please, not the wedge. Not in the sand trap. No. Beautiful. Look at that. Smooth as silk. That could have been framed for a movie, and it would have been so well timed. This is gross. This is so good. This is literally like the Wukong sucks build, but like just with any weapon. This is so good. I'm so impressed. And like we're only at a 2.5x counter. Like we're not even like ramping that much. This is so good. It's delicious. Make this Zaw. Everyone make this Zaw right now. It's so good. That's really cool, but you have to play Ember. Yeah. No, Macro Chef, the damage switching thing, I feel you. That's annoying. But this one works for anyone, which is great. No, Spirit and Steel, you have good timing because we're gonna stop pretty soon. I want to do it with Frost. Not for any particular reason. I just want to do it with Frost. I'll see you later, Spirit and Steel. Thanks for being here for a little bit. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Someone asking about alliances. Maybe I'll make my own at some point. Yeah, I just like the look of it more on like a frame like Frost. I don't know, for whatever reason. God, it's so good. And like the finishers are like not bad either. Like the finisher animation speed of hammers is like very respectable. Oh, wonderful. Just beautiful. Ooh. Ooh. New channel should be named Life of Xandy. It's got to be called a pan guy's life of playing. it's like a Rob from a Gay Guy Plays and Life of Rio parody channel. Boop. Charles McFarlane, I strongly disagree. I think Corrosive Blast is a lot stronger on the Sobek than Radiation Viral. It doesn't really proc, doesn't proc any slash, so the viral procs don't really get you that far. Alliances are pointless though, aren't they? Yeah, Gukas, the one that I'm in right now is like some content creator clans, so it could theoretically be sort of useful. You know, like people can say they want to join a content creators clan, and then the content creators can still like be in the same clan, kind of. But we're not actually using it for that. I'm just saying theoretically it could be useful, but we're not. We're not doing that, so it's not useful at all. So yeah, no, there's not really much of a point to them at the moment. They're kind of a floaty feature, which is a bit of a shame. Xandy, who manages the clan invites when you're not on? I always do it myself. If you want a clan invite, then just send me a friend request or whatever, saying you would like one, and I will just invite you. In fact, let's see if there are any. There are no new fresh ones. But yeah, just friend me and say please invite me to the clan. If you've already done that, I may have missed it. So feel free to just say now like what your name is, and I could invite you. But at the moment, we don't have an officer. I will denote an officer, but that's going to require figuring out when people are on that I'm not, so it's actually like worthwhile. And I do very much strongly feel about like inviting people into the clan personally. Like I like to say hi personally to all the people in the clan. So there's that. And Alliance just gives you an extra chat channel. Yeah, basically, pretty much. It doesn't currently have like a gameplay function. We need Alliance Wars. I agree. They should have bigger spice. Where's my senescence? Yep. Delicious. Ooh, ooh, baby. That's some gas spread. I think I did it a little bit too early. I should have swung like Xeno Guy's Life of Xandy Zero channel. Great. I would watch. Oh, there we go. Ooh. Let's turn these enemies up a little bit. This strategy really shines against like higher level targets. Can you explain the Solar Rail Alliance Dark Sector thing? No, I actually wasn't playing when that was a thing. Let's go up to like 135. 135. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and swap. There we go. That's the big. Oh baby, that's the big damage. There's the big damage. Ooh baby, and it's in such a big area. Like, it hits such a large area. This would probably be beastly in Onslaught if you could survive using it in Onslaught. With Ember, which you can't. You absolutely can't. You know, you maybe with like enough team support. I don't know. You could go like really hardcore and have like Agara to give you shards so that you can benefit from damage reduction on overshields, and then go for a mag or a capacitance volt that can give you like tons of overshields, and then like maybe you could be tanky enough on mag to like do this realistically in Onslaught. I don't know. Jank comps, like if it's not worth it, like you could just use Saren, but it would still be fun. I don't know. Yeah, Mom Quest possibly. Again, it's something I would explore stuff like that much more, like when my channel gets on track a little bit more, when we recover a bit. But yeah, like the damage gets real good. Like if these enemies were much higher level, this would also be even stronger. It's like once you establish the armor stripping, the AoE gas gets like really nasty, really nasty. What weapon are you using? It can't be a Za because it has a skin. Yeah, Salmon, this is my, this is because of you, man. This is your Sero Riven on a renamed Sero with a different skin. This is my senescence. You didn't get to see this, did you? Yeah, this is the weapon I made with the Riven you gave me. 52% damage to Grenier, 150% range, and more than double status duration. Quite possibly the perfect Riven for this particular weapon. Pure Toxin for the element. Weapon has innate electricity, so it's got corrosive by default. Basically 100% status because of Weeping Wounds. Lots of attack speed, condition overload, of course. Doesn't really. You can use Swirling Spire if you like, and then you can use Accelerant with its Flash Accelerant Augment to swap to gas damage and electricity on the fly, and do huge amounts of gas damage in a huge area. Yeah, boy. Griffin, yes, I am standing up. But we gotta stop streaming soon. That's the best part. It's unrolled. Wait, let's go back. It is, Salmon. You didn't even roll for this. Yeah. That's something to be proud of. That's gonna be a family heirloom. That's gonna be a family heirloom for generations. The generations I will not have will treasure this Riven. This unrolled, like, I was like, this is what I want in a Riven. And Salmon was like, I have an unrolled Riven that is exactly those things. Like, what? How? Like, how did you get this? I don't understand. Anyway. Awesome. This is not a Za. This is a modified Sero. You can't put skins on Zas, and this is a Tenergen Universal Polearm skin on the Sero, which is a weapon people probably don't know about, which I can't show you because I reskinned it. Here, I guess I can take the skin off. Looks like this. Pretty janky, like MR2 weapon that happens to have pretty much the highest Riven disposition of any weapon in the game. Melee weapon, excuse me. And it has the highest melee Riven disposition of any weapon that is a polearm with the high polearm range. So getting a Riven for it with range can give it like some of the highest range possible in the game, alongside primed reach, and you can also do like actually good things with it. You gonna do the bad Twitch host when you end? If there's someone to host, sure, yeah. You can rename not Zaws. Yep, melee weapons. Shepard, if you go to Hawk, you can rename any melee weapon at Hawk. So I renamed it this. This arrow is one of the weirdest looking weapons in the game. It's true. So I completely redesigned it into this unrecognizable beast, and it's good even not on Ember. It's not bad not on Ember, but it's particularly ridiculous, like with a Firequake World on Fire Ember deal. So we'll show again. Knock all these guys down, start stripping the armor, strip a little bit of armor from all these guys, and then boop and swap and gas. And like these enemies could be like level 200, and like swinging for 1 more second would give the same results. It does so gross damage. And then because of my low duration, it switches back to corrosive pretty fast. You can swing, strip a little bit of armor from these guys, and swap, and then do gas, and do tons of damage, so much damage. And they just like instantly melt. And you can see if you don't strip the armor, gas damage is not that good. See, this enemy's taking like crap for damage. Strip the armor a little bit, and then boop, and then gas, and the enemy dies really fast. And like you don't even have to attack nearly this much because the gas procs have double duration, so they last like almost 12 seconds. You don't need to be swinging as much as I am. I just like, it's fun to use this weapon, so I'm swinging it a lot. Yep. We'll swap and then get tons. Oh my god, 10,000 gas damage procs. Gross. And obviously condition overload scales this up a lot. Unfortunately, this weapon doesn't have crits. That would be even more gross. We wouldn't really have space for them, but like it would still be cool if it did. Crazy damage. And again, like these enemies have so many damage multipliers. They could be much higher level than this, and like we would still easily be able to kill them. We just, like, it would take a little longer, but like it would still be pretty efficient. This is one of those builds that like the damage is not really appropriate for the content that we have. But if we could get a higher level. Yep. Dead Jockey, you say, is there any way to get my glyph? There's lots of ways to get my glyph. Look on my YouTube channel, just search glyph, or if my YouTube channel searching bugs out, just search Xandy glyph on YouTube in general. There's a whole video, fairly short video, that is like all of the ways you can get it. There are lots of them, and I'm always adding more, and you can see in the description some that I added since making the video. I'm going to update that pretty soon. MomQuest, you said, Xandy, have you ever used spring-loaded blade? Yes, I have. I actually borrowed one from my patron Free William. He gave me one to show off how it doesn't really work the way it is probably intended to. Let's get a weapon that's a good example for this. Doesn't particularly matter, but something with crits. Whatever, like Oma. My weird looking Oma that I got. Let's just use the fall. Ooh, that's pretty. Okay, sure. Striking anyway. A little gaudy, but striking. I think that spring-loaded blade is intended to work like Berserker. Berserker now has text added that says max 75%, but it didn't used to. It used to just say 30% attack speed for 24 seconds on critical hit, and people would be like, isn't Fury just better? And it didn't say that it stacks 2.5 times. Spring-loaded blade, similarly, is kind of a head-scratcher if this is all it's intended to do, because reach is just better, and 30% range is like so little that it's like, what? If this stacked 2.5 times, it would be okay. You know, like if it was like Berserker. I think that they maybe just don't know that it doesn't work because no one has this mod. This mod has like a 0.5% drop chance from like incursions and level 5 bounty bosses. So I think it's just that no one has been using this, so they don't know it doesn't work. I don't know. But yeah, it's terrible. It's really bad. It's so bad. Like, people have like, I have a 224 range Tonbo Riven. Yeah, like, that's like the maximum possible range. So, like, if you have something with crazy, serious range, put, you know, Prime Reach on that. And, like, adding Spring-Loaded Blade gives it, like, a 5% effective range increase. Like, what? Like, I don't know. That can't possibly be intended, you know? Griffin, you said is Sero Sortie 3 viable without a Riven? Yeah. It's got pretty good armor stripping. Just build it pure corrosive. I would recommend pretty much the same. Almost all melee weapons are sortie viable without Rivens. Like, Rivens don't usually make things like viable where they would otherwise not be. Like, I know I repeat that mantra a lot, but if you're a newer player in my community, I'm going to suggest to you that Rivens only very rarely make a weapon like viable in a place it was not viable before, because they increase a weapon's base stats. If the weapon doesn't have the base stats, it's just not good, period. Giving it a Riven will not make it better because it doesn't have anything good to increase. Imagine an awesome god roll, critical chance and critical damage with status chance Riven, but if you put it on a weapon that doesn't have good crit stats or good status at base, the Riven is multiplying the weapon's existing base stats, so the weapon will still suck if it didn't have crit damage stats, critical stats in general, or status. And if it did have those stats, it's already good, and you barely even have room for more. Sure, they'd be good, but it will be very good without them. So categorically, Rivens don't really ever make weapons good where they weren't. It is only with extreme exceptions and like weird stats that Rivens ever actually change how viable things are. And normal Rivens never affect the viability of basically any weapon. They just make some weapons a little bit better. A good example of like the only time that mindset doesn't hold that true is with like sniper rifles. You can get pretty strong Volkar Rivens, for example, and the Volkar is already a serviceable sniper rifle. So if you get a really good one, then you can use it to kill Eidolons really good. But like you can kind of already use the Volkar to kill Eidolons kind of good. So, like it doesn't make it viable where it wouldn't be, but like indeed it does increase its power level like a meaningful amount, sure. Gray, I'll see you later. Have a good night. I'm sorry if I missed you. I may have missed saying goodnight, but have a good night. Thanks for being here for a while. How would you build the Oma? I have a Riven for it with 224% damage, blah, blah, blah. Well, I wouldn't change. I'm going to say how to build the Oma and not talk about the Riven and then talk about the Riven. How I would build the Oma is not relevant to a Riven, but I can talk about fitting that in, sure. So let's see. It's damage, cold, and negative critical chance and slide attacks. That hurts a bit because the Oma has really good slide attacks, but there's no reason you can't use it as like a DPS weapon. So that curse is not the end of the world. Big base damage mod. So with that type of base damage mod, I'd recommend that you don't run pressure point. Just omit pressure point. Let's simulate a build. Boop boop. So this weapon is a hybrid weapon indeed. Having innate electricity and good status suggests maybe pure corrosive. Maybe. Definitely go for Sovereign Outcast. Sovereign Outcast is thebomb.com. Great stance. Pretty much all the combos are good. I personally highly recommend the block combo. I think it's got great cleave. It's very easy to use. It feels good. Condition Overload, we'll start with Blood Rush and Berserker. And that means Organ Shatter. And that also means Drifting Contact. Again, I have not yet actually given you information. These are just automatic conclusions, given the weapon's stats. And then you probably want to make it corrosive, if that's what you're going to go for. You could go for other stuff, but I would go for corrosive. It has innate cold. That's a bit awkward. But it might not be awkward in the sense that... Oh, it is very awkward. Here's why it's awkward. So... The elemental damage on elemental innate weapons adds last. So what's going to happen is when you put your Riven on, you're going to get magnetic. And then if you put on what would normally make pure corrosive, which is just Virulent Scourge, you won't have just corrosive. You'll be making viral and electricity because the Riven will combine before the innate elemental electricity. So what you're going to have to do is you actually kind of lose a spot because you need to put on Voltaic Strike to get your corrosive. Then you have cold and corrosive, which is good because you have armor stripping. Cold is not an awful proc. And then you have a good damage bonus against ferrite armor from corrosive and a good damage bonus against alloy armor in cold. Cold is a very good alloy armor damage bonus. And you have a damage bonus against shields, which corrosive is normally weak against, in cold as well, which is great. Which is a pretty good damage combination. But you need to keep in mind that the cold damage itself is not actually adding that much to your DPS, because you already have 120% elemental. If you didn't have cold, the Riven would be like almost better, because you would like save a slot, but you do get less status chance. So and then that's instead of pressure point, so like imagine pressure point is there instead. Then the last slot is kind of up to you. I wouldn't use condition overload, but it might not be bad. I think Savonarchus has a few forced procs. If you decide to use Gemini Cross also has good forced procs. Yeah, Savonarchus has forced slash procs, so you could go for condition overload as your last mod. That's what I recommend. Yeah, people are saying about, I'm slightly behind on chat, sorry. People are saying retroactively about Spring-Loaded Blade, like, what a weird mod. I would have to stack, like, 5 times to be good. I know. Like, I said 2.5 times, like, Berserker. That wouldn't really be good. Like, it wouldn't really be good. It'd be okay. Odds are they're just gonna nerf Berserker and keep Spring-Loaded Blade the way... No, they don't do stuff like that. Have we tried out the bolt-action sniper yet? It's not really a bolt-action sniper. It's just a semi-auto rifle. It's not a sniper rifle, and it's not bolt action. But it's alright. It's okay. What link are you using on the Hammer's Eye? Aquana 2 Jai. XFR, I'm a little bit behind on chat, but Aquana 2 Jai are the links on that. Exalted Blade. Shattering Impact is okay on Exalted Weapons, sure. I highly recommend that you just use Chromatic Blade instead, but it's okay on Exalted Blade. Yeah, Sarpa is makes it nice to strip the Eidolon's armor with Shattering Impact, but Xandy, could you explain when to use Blast on a condition overload melee for the temporary extra status that Blast gets? Largely you shouldn't. Because what the build that would result would be like, let's show I use something that kind of has that spread on my Secure Electa, but for a different reason. Basically what you're talking about is like, you would do like this. This is awful. Like you should like basically no melee build should ever have this. It's a gigantic loss in damage for like basically any weapon. There are a few weapons where you could get away with it, but this is like a huge loss in damage, popularized by the fact that people romanticize 100% status. It's not special. It's only special on shotguns, and on anything that's not a shotgun, you just want status ratio of status output increase on the weapon to like build space cost, and beyond 2 mods, it's always bad. Not always, but like 98% of the time. So let's look for a weapon that it would be good on, and talk about why it's not. So first of all, we could do a weapon like the Oma, I guess. I wouldn't do it on the Oma, but like sure, we should just keep using that example. So Sovereign Outcast, sure. So we'll start building out the build normally. So we got pressure point. We're still gonna run crit, I would reckon. So still Blood Rush, Organ Shatter, and still Drifting Contact. Although in a sec that might seem a little redundant. And then we're gonna consider adding Blast. So the way we're probably gonna be likely to do it is to go Vicious Frost and then Volcanic Edge. Now we have Blast, and then we can add Virulent Scourge at the end and get Corrosive. Nice. Now we have a decent spread. It's not awful on this weapon. You got 100%, pretty much 100% status, so every hit is going to give you status. That's nice. I've awkwardly created a weapon where it actually isn't bad. But the reason this is not amazing is because the remaining slot is going to fall to Berserker. Let's go to Berserker. And you'll notice that we don't have condition overload on this build. There's no condition overload here. So what are we to do? Well, we could replace Blood Rush, so no Organ Shatter. And now there's no good mod to put there. So we could do like Primed Fury maybe, sort of. Or we could just remove one of the elements. Because the Oma is elemental, this is not going to look good, but just bear with me for a sec. Pretend it's not doing the elemental rounding thing. So that we would get, like, corrosive and cold, and then we'd have, you know, one less element, but still, and then we have room for Blood Rush and Organ Shatter again, so it's better to just run 2 elements, you know? And if we go to a different weapon... Hi. It's very sticky. Let's go to the 9 iron, for example. I'm gonna stop pretty soon.
Okay, I made food.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you make?
The ganchi.
Excuse me? What did you just call me?
You know what I mean.
The gnocchi?
Yeah.
The ganchi.
You done being depressed?
Callie?
Yeah. She's been
She's depressed because she did something wrong.
Yeah, she peed in my suitcase.
She peed in her suitcase. And on the bath mat. She's peeing all over the house. Our cat. Okay, anyway, so people are starting to talk about it a little bit more. But basically the idea is that, like, adding the extra mods for an extra element, it's just not space efficient, except on weapons that have, like, no good stats to build for. So you can see that without, like, totally doing it out, but I will kind of do it out. There's a Blood Rush. We're going to go Organ Shatter again. We're going to go Drifting Contact again. Boop. And now we have 3 slots left. So, again, if we start by doing, like, Virulent Scourge, Voltaic Strike, Vicious Frost, like, Volcanic Edge as an additional mod for an additional Condition Overload thing over Organ Shatter is, like, only barely, like, better on damage just because of the way Condition Overload multiplies. It's likely to be, like, a bit better. But barely, and it's less consistent. And another problem that I have not yet talked about is that when you have Blast proccing on enemies, they fall down, and then you can't keep doing combos because you'll do a ground finisher on them. That loses you damage. The way it doesn't lose you damage is with weapons like the Jet Cassar, where they can hit from range very easily. So I have Pure Blast on this and Condition Overload. What's going to happen here is I'm going to get Blast and then Slash, 3 procs, so Condition Overload is very good. And then I have the crits and whatever. And I'm going to show that. And because of the way that the combos work with this weapon, I will easily be able to hit enemies without getting into a ground finisher. So I'm going to start swinging. One of them will get Blast procced and knock them all over. And now you can see my bleed damage is going crazy. And I'm not having to stop attacking to... Yeah. See, there I ground finishered, but if I just stay away from them, stay away from melee range with them, I can use the Blast without ruining my DPS. And you can see that here it's alright. So sure, someone said Sylvan Aegis Prime because it already has the innate heat. That's not a bad idea, sure. I could see having space for that there. You're gonna have to make a sacrifice, but it's somewhat viable. But on normal weapons, the answer is never. Not because it's not strong, but because the build space doesn't work out. I hope that makes sense. I hope I explained that well. Weapons with innate one of those elements are not a bad idea. Someone said 100% status on beams. Magnus Nate, that's also not special. It's just an output thing. It doesn't do anything like particularly special, at least not to my knowledge, unless there's some weird thing I missed. And again, you always want to do hybrid if you have it because the multipliers are just more favorable. This looks like, oh, I'm losing double damage, but I'm gaining, way more damage because Condition Overload. But like, no, because the crits the double crits are getting multiplied by that huge Condition Overload multiplier, so it ends up not being that competitive. Condition Overload is crazy. Stacking Condition Overload is crazy, but it's usually better to do it with like status priming and stuff. And Blast is great to take advantage of if you can, but there are not that many weapons that it ends up being the best thing to pick. I hope that makes sense. It is hard to explain, but now I'm going to go eat. Okay. Good work, folks. Moral of the story here, build this Zaw, like right now. Build it. Make it. Go build it. Stop what you're doing. Stop watching the stream. It's over. Show's over. Go build this Zaw. If you're doing something else when I come back, which will be on Thursday, I guess, then I'm gonna get mad at you. Let's do some housekeeping stuff, right? Here's the stream schedule. I am gonna be adding more YouTube streams and more streams in general. More in June, but I am gonna dip my foot into it during May. Happy May, I guess. May's an alright month. That's when I normally stream. Today we started on time, which was great. And this will be an archive. I'm sorry the archive thing got glitched out last week, but it got glitched out last week. That wasn't because I wanted it to. You'll see this archive just fine. So that's great. Now, one closing remark. If you are going to leave, if you're going to stop watching YouTube, you can give my channel a slight boost, or avoid giving it a slight detriment, by going to a different channel first. If you end your session on YouTube on my channel gets a demerit for it. So just like the algorithm says bad things about it, that's all. Not like I said a demerit like it was this formal thing. That does help. If you feel like doing that, that's great. That would be swell. But it's not the end of the world. If that's annoying to you, like, it's fine, don't do it. But you will be helping a small amount more if you go to a different channel first and then leave YouTube. Go to a channel you don't like. Perhaps watch Mojo or some other trashy channel. Somebody recommended that one stream. That was a very good recommendation. How's the Nakanaza before you leave? Pizza Lover, yes. It's all right. It's not that good. The stances are not that competitive. But it is not that noticeably worse than Nikana Prime. Probably because both of them are relying on slash and like stance stuff. Tranquil Cleave is, I think, the stance to go with. Exodia Contagion is like not good at all on it. Exodia Hunt is okay. I was not impressed, but I'm not impressed with... We tested Nikana Prime with the same builds, and I wasn't impressed with that either. By the way, MomQuest, you said, I wonder if they're talking about the thing where blast counts as 2 procs for condition overload. They are. We are talking about that. That is still the case. That did not get patched out. That doesn't change any of it. Let me go find a BuzzFeed video really quick. Yes, exactly. That's the spirit. Thanks. So as a general rule, 2 elemental mods is all we have space for. As a general rule, there are times when you can swing it, like the cost benefit of it works out. But as a general rule, it's not going to end up being the best damage increase to run more than 2 elements. And running 1 can be a damage increase sometimes. Again, the best example I can give you is like the Jack Kassar build I showed you, where 1 element here is actually a pretty large damage gain because we get to do primed reach and condition overload and drifting contact and organ, all the crit stuff. So if you can get away with 1 element, that's often the goal on weapons, but you still want a relevant combined status, you still want good status chance. All those things often come from having 2 elements. That's all good, that's not bad. But when that stuff isn't relevant, or when it's just handed to you, some weapons just handed to you, or when the weapon is incapable of it, like a sniper rifle maybe, 1 status mod is what you are aiming for. You're aiming of 1 mod of every type, and status mods, when you add 2, it's usually the combined proc, stuff like that. That's what you're looking for. Kais, you say, does gas proc count as 2 elements? Nope, there's actually no gas proc. Proccing gas is just AoE toxin proc and some burst AoE damage. There's actually no gas proc, like that procs on an enemy that stays there for condition overload. There actually is no such thing. It's toxin procs. Good question, because it feels like it'd be similar to blast, but there's actually no such thing. There's no like static gas proc. That is the only of all of the damage types in this game, the only one that doesn't inflict a status for condition overload is gas. Good question. Maybe it inflicts for like an instant when you proc it. I don't think so, but maybe. But in any case, it doesn't like stay on the enemy. Good question. Okay, we're gonna go. Good job, folks. If you're gonna leave, go look up a video that you hate and then leave off that video, and then you'll make that video do less well on YouTube, which is cool. And if you would like to keep watching Warframe, I'm surely hosting someone on my Twitch that is playing Warframe, or it might be Joey Zero playing Pathfinder, but that's cool too. So go watch my Twitch. Okay, thanks for being here, folks. I'll see you later. Charisma is also weird because it's both instantaneous and permanent. Indeed. Goodbye.